And welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, our podcast hosted by two of your true gamers for you, the true gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going, bro?
It's going good. You did mess up the intro, but we're going to leave it. It's close enough.
Was it the wording off slightly?
You had like True Gamer in there 4 times. It's cool.
Make sure the branding is on point, guys. This is the True Gamer Podcast.
Don't forget.
Did you not know? Just in case you didn't know, True Gamers.
And it's brought to you by our amazing patrons over on patreon.com/conversations. Who do we have to thank?
We have Diogo Dildo, the $69 noise patron right there.
We actually are going to have... We talked about this for a while, about having some content there in case anyone did it, but we never got round to it, and we were like, no one's ever going to do it. But Diogo, bro, there's a reason he has his own rank on the Discord.
Exactly. We also have Isak the Ultimate, Jake Ryan, aka Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan's illegitimate son.
I love that.
Keralt of Rivia, aka Catsper the Friendly Patron, Record Friction, Dan the Man, Chris, aka Batman's Robin, Jeremy Renner, Martin Scorsese's Master H Barts 12, and the real life superhero Night Scar. That's all of our bros. Thank you very much for keeping the lights, the mics on, and the gaming going here at the True Game Podcast. That's right. Yeah. How are you doing today, by the way?
I'm knackered because I've been moving. I know you're fine because there's been nothing going on in your life.
My life's been pretty smooth sailing.
So let's just talk about me for a while. I'm tired. I'm tired, but I've been looking forward to this for a while. It's been what, like 2 weeks now?
Yeah, because the week that we took off, that would have been a True Gamer podcast, and then the week afterwards was like, should we do True Gamer? But then it was the Isla thing happened, so we're like, let's make it a conversation we could talk about.
So it's been thing where you had your daughter, the Isla thing.
I had a daughter.
The Isla thing. Because the Isla thing that kind of got in the way.
Honestly, there are some people that contact me. They're like, oh yeah, I found your True Gamer podcast on podcast services. There are probably people out there that don't know. I became a father like 2 weeks ago. But there we are, guys. If you guys want to check out any more about that, we did a whole podcast. Head over to youtube.com/conversations.
Great stuff. We don't need to do a full hour of baby talk. But
let's do another hour.
I just met her. She hasn't met me because she was asleep. Bare cute. And it was funny because I was saying, because you were thinking about getting a puppy sort of around about lockdown time, but then they stopped letting people have them and stuff. And I was stroking her a bit because she's ridiculously cute. And she started making puppy noise, and I was like, "Oh my god!" She made like a couple little squeaks.
She's everything.
Like, this is the perfect thing. So super cute. I approve. It's about the best thing you've made.
I agree. This is actually the best thing. Oh yeah, way better than this channel. You guys, you're getting the subpar stuff. Right. The real good stuff that I've made is downstairs.
Yeah, it comes out of the balls.
That is the worst way to put it, but I love it.
So, we are going to get in some gaming talk because, of course, this is the True Gamer Podcast. And it has been made entirely possible because of the True Gamers over on our Patreon. And those patrons who are True Gamers are...
Jeremy Horde, Chris Williams, Daniel aka Night Scar, Record Friction, Jake Ryan, Isak Manny. Oh, he also changed his name to Jack Ryan's illegitimate son, by the way, on Patreon.
He did.
So that's fucking fantastic. Isak Manny, Dan, Diogo, Real Cinema, Keralt of Rivia aka Catsper Coral twice, because... why not? Do you know what? He does this all the time. I swear it's the second time now where he's subbed to us by accident twice.
Well, let's make sure he gets the upper level.
Let's do it. I'm going to read it out twice for you as well. Keralt of Rivia, a.k.a. Catsper Coral. Keralt of Rivia, a.k.a. Catsper Coral. Is unpolished and refined. That's our boy Ashton. Max H, Adam Sunling, Benedict Clobbers, Fishy, Batfan257, and... the swan swam over the sea, swan swim. The swan swam back again, well swum swan.
You did that in one go.
I did do it in one go. How about that?
That was a little bit jerky, but you know.
I mean, my whole life is a bit jerky. He's coming back. It's come full circle.
That list is surprising. Has Max been there for?
Max has been there since the beginning. I swear to God. I think he might have been at the $1 at the beginning, but he went straight up.
I know he's been on the Patreon, but I didn't know who was I can't remember him being I can't memorize the list.
Yeah, he was the one that won our fleshlight, which is around here somewhere. Oh, it's in my private section. Don't worry about it. You don't need to know.
Private collection, right.
But yeah, that's everyone. Thank you all so much for supporting us, for making this podcast happen. It all happened because of you guys.
Actually, as we're on like donations and Patreon guys and stuff, you support us. we have downstairs all of the parts of the gaming rig. Well, no, it's not a gaming rig. Editing rig.
Streaming
rig.
streaming
What the hell
rig.
is it for?
You
Why
said
are we doing this?
There was literally 3 things you could use a
And I
computer
got-
for.
I
You went
got-
through every one to get to the last one.
I had a 1 in 3 chance, and it took me 3 goes.
Anyway, yeah, we got our streaming rig. It's all the parts
Yeah.
are here. We've actually set up the live stream. It's going to be happening after Anime Club on Sunday.
Yes.
So as soon as that's over, we'll go live. You guys can join us. It'll be on the Combo Plations channel because it's for game streaming. So I
Yeah.
thought it'd be nicer to put it there.
I'm looking forward to it.
Have you seen the thumbnail that I made for us as
No,
well?
not yet.
It's hilarious. It's actually us with like hard hats and like looking intently. It's like, because we're gonna be fucking idiots,
Amazing.
right? And I labeled it as like 2 chimpanzees making a computer.
Sometimes you do have to do. Every now and then we have to use screwdrivers and stuff. And if you use most people think screwdrivers get used like this, right? Anything that's stuck, it gets like
Yeah.
one hand to push, one hand to wrench. You know, like,
Yeah.
And if you ever do that in front of someone that doesn't ever use like practical stuff, they think you're a chimpanzee because you're.
Do you not know how to use that? Let me teach you, little man. So
Right.
shut up. I know what I'm doing.
Right.
Okay? But yeah, join us Sunday for that. It should be quite fun. We're absolute idiots when it comes to building PCs. We don't have the most
I've
experience.
done 1 or 2 before.
Yeah, I've done it a long time ago, so
Yeah,
nothing's like.
mine was years ago.
The thing that I'm worried about is that I don't know if we actually do have everything. There are some people that are like, oh, you put thermal paste on stuff. And I'm like, do we need to do that? Or is the CPU already built?
We
Or-
just PTFE everything.
Yeah, you know, I mean PTFE tape all around it. So it might happen during the stream. We will have to run out to the shop, but you guys will be there to see the madness as it happens.
We'll figure something out. Worst case, let's have to make sure just in case the PlayStation will be up. So if one of us has to run out, we can bang on some like Battlefront or something just in case. Probably won't happen. It'll probably go fairly smoothly because PC gamers built these things.
Exactly. I mean, they're like, no, strike 2 sticks
Right.
together kind of idiots and whatnot.
W A to the left. I want weapon 2. Left click. Yeah, that's PC gaming.
Exactly,
Right? We
they're not-
prefer the streamlined, hardcore gamers. You know, DS5.
True
PS4.
gamers.
Yeah, exactly.
True gamers right there. I love how we shit on them so much.
And we're building one of these things.
Anyway,
And I
today.
started on Counter-Strike back in the day on internet cafes.
I was going to say, you're like big WoW fan as well. Stuff
I've
like
got
that. So,
hundreds of days on WoW.
anyway, guys, today we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Main topics are going to be the DC games that were announced at the DC fandom,
yeah.
Gotham Knights and the Rocksteady game, the Suicide Squad game, Halo Infinite being delayed and what that could possibly mean. A possible price leak as well for the Xbox Series X that we've seen Alana Pierce has been talking about, and also some extra stuff that's come out.
That's why we're paying attention to Alana Pierce. It's for the gaming news.
Exactly. She's actually really fucking
I
funny.
know.
I like her
She's
a lot.
actually really funny and posts good, informative stuff.
Yes.
And she has that, it's
And
that Anne
gorgeous.
Hathaway thing. And I've
That's
said
it.
this before, there are some people that suffer because they are so redonkulously good looking. And I think like Henry Cavill's a good male version of that. People are just like, oh, he's Superman because he's yoked. Dude's an insanely talented actor.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely.
But he
very,
gets on a
very
panel
good.
and people are like, look at this gorgeous specimen. It's
Right.
like, maybe he's got something to show.
Tom
Yeah.
Welling,
Same thing.
good range. Jensen Ackles, but these guys are gorgeous. No, we're not that straight.
We're not.
Any of you 3 gents, I mean, you've also got the budget.
Sandwich yourself between us right here.
Innit? So, you know, but, so, do we haven't, is there an order you want to talk about these in? Because I accidentally, because I didn't know what we were talking about today.
Go on.
I accidentally mentioned both Gotham Knights and Halo Infinite this morning on Twitter.
Well, which one would you like to talk about? Because it's totally free for us to talk about. If you want to talk about the games first, we'll talk about the 2 DC games. And then we'll move on to the Halo stuff, yeah?
Yeah, we can.
I feel like that's going to be a topic of the show anyway, because we always talk about the consoles and what. Let's start with the games and whatnot. First of all, impressions on this brand new game that was announced at the DC fandom from WB Montreal. This was the game that they were teasing for over a year.
Yeah.
The Capture the Night logo that was coming up, the Court of Owls references all over the place. We were so blue-balled that when it came to this event, we almost couldn't contain ourselves.
That's true.
How did you feel about this?
So, I've been moving all this weekend, and it hasn't been the smoothest move. And I caught this one. I was in the stream for this.
Yeah.
While we're moving, I set up everything so I could
Carrying
catch
your
this.
laptop like this.
Right. This was the only thing I was really present for, and I have to say I was very underwhelmed at the time because one, we'd been getting a year of Court of Owls marketing and like teasing. We didn't get that. we were kind of under the impression it was a Batman or something a la that. Like it could have been Owlman, which is like Thomas Wayne or might be Bruce Wayne in a different alternate universe, but it's basically Batman, you know, or Bat Dad or whatever, right? There was no Batman there, you know, fine. But it's not what we were expecting.
Yeah.
We were also expecting, you know, like an RPG, and it's like an open world type thing.
Yeah, the way that my initial reaction as well was really,
You were really disappointed.
really negative
Yeah.
when I first saw it. I've come to warm up a smidge, but I'm still very much in the "this is not what we wanted" kind of camp.
I'm a lot warmer to it.
Yeah.
A lot warmer to it.
All right. Well, let me get my thoughts out, and then you can tell me like where you feel like I might be
we're
wrong.
this weird reversal now.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Normally you're like, everything's doom and
I know.
gloom, fuck it.
I know.
So when I first saw it, I was like, okay, it's a Batman game. That's what we're expecting. It's WB in Montreal. They've been teasing us for all this time. The Court of Owls thing is like, I don't know about the Court of Owls as much as a proper Batman fan would and whatnot.
It's Gotham Illuminati, basically.
Cool. Sounds awesome. Sounds
sick.
awesome.
It's
I'm
sick.
more of a Superman guy, so I didn't really know. But I was like, it sounds like it would be cool. Everyone's told me it's going to be great.
Yeah.
We get the initial tease and Batman sort of telling these four vigilantes that he's now dead. He's like, I've destroyed the cave, and it's like a video message. I'm
Basically,
dead.
if you're seeing this,
Yes.
Batman and me, Bruce, you know, Batman and my alter ego, Bruce Wayne,
Yes.
are gone.
Are gone.
Yeah.
I've left everything to you guys. The bell tower and whatnot is all yours.
Yeah.
The system's out there. But you guys are going to find. I was like, For a moment, I was like, that's kind of interesting because I didn't believe for a moment actually that he was dead.
Yeah, come on.
I was like,
Yeah.
Batman dead? That's like saying
it's-
Superman's dead. It's like, come on.
It's Justice League. Superman's dead. He's Disney dead. Come
Yeah,
on, Superman.
Exactly.
Superman,
Exactly.
right?
I was like, he's probably gonna come back somehow. But anyway, let's
This
see what
is a
they've got to
ploy
show.
to get the criminals to think Batman's gone. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Yeah.
But I was like, that's no problem. I have no problem with doing that bit. And it makes it interesting that you want to put on different characters so they can play as different characters because Red Hood's fantastic, Nightwing's fantastic, Batgirl's fantastic.
Nightwing's one of my favourite characters.
Mine too.
Ever. I mean, you know, I think we've been pretty upfront. Greatest hero of all time, Green Lantern.
Yes,
Right.
yes. Specifically the Ryan Reynolds variant of it, yes. Yeah.
Greatest movie of all time, greatest superhero movie, greatest superhero, greatest act,
Yes,
everything.
Everything, yeah.
You know, and then up there for me, you know, it is guys like Batman, Superman. I like Aquaman. I don't think he's up there for me. He's awesome. We're not doing a power list.
Yeah.
And then it's like Nightwing,
Yeah.
right? Like he's there.
Yeah.
He's in my top 5, easy. And that's not DC heroes. That's heroes.
Heroes.
You know.
Yeah.
So
So when I saw that bit,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's cool. And then they moved over to the was it 10-minute gameplay demo that they
Yeah.
had ready for us. They're like, this is an alpha build, guys. Don't judge it too harshly.
Pre-alpha.
Pre-alpha. They were like, this is really. They really stressed that first of all.
I want to make one point. At
Go
this, on. This because again, not knowing that Halo Infinite had been delayed and that stuff, because of the move, I missed a lot of the stuff. I had to catch up again last night, this morning before I came here.
Yeah.
And I tweeted out this morning, as gamers, we have to ask ourselves, why was this Gotham Knights pre-alpha footage more polished than Halo Infinite?
That's a good question because this did look way better than Halo
Way
Infinite
better.
did. That's a really good observation that I didn't put together before. Wow.
And I think, by the way, that's my feelings. When we talk about Halo Infinite getting delayed, that tweet. so go on.
Yeah, so I saw this gameplay trailer afterwards, and it was so underwhelming. What was underwhelming most about it to me was not so much the characters you got to play, which some of them did feel a little bit lackluster. They were just like, okay,
Absolutely.
you've put a skin on something that's going to beat something up, it's no problem.
It felt a lot like the Marvel game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people are going to make that comparison. But the world as well, it felt kind of lifeless. There was when you play as Batman in any of the Batman video games and whatnot, which as soon as this was over, as soon as DC fandom was over, I was like, I'm streaming Batman Arkham Knight because I'm so in the fucking Batman mood right now. You see Batman, he gets on top of a roof, he looks down, he's quite silent and whatnot. There's an eerie music in the background.
At night. Yeah.
Exactly. There's bad men over there. They go, you think you can come into our neighborhood? And then he swoops down, bang, 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 boom, 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 and then a fluster of bats come along. You're like, wow, cool. In this gameplay demo, it seemed to be that it was Barbara who played as Batwoman first of all, and she comes up there and there's like radios going off in her ear where she's talking to Robin, talking to Nightwing, talking to Red Hood.
Yeah.
She's flying around, she's making witty remarks and stuff like that. I'm like, this doesn't feel dark and serious like Gotham City should be.
They actually made one of the things I hate. The thing I hated the most, because I watched it again this morning, because you sent me the links. her and Robin are going in somewhere and some ice breaks and they end up in the building. And Barbara says, I did that on purpose, right? And it sounds like it's supposed to be this witty one-liner because Barb's strong and independent. But they miswrote her. They should have had Robin deliver that line and Barbara being strong and confident going, I will tell people that. That would have been way funnier. Also, Robin, the Robin they're going for, who isn't the Nightwing, right? He's younger. So it would make more sense for him to say, I meant to do that because he's younger and trying to impress fucking Backup. Like, Barbara.
Exactly.
Like, he's trying to impress her. And she's like, "Aye, kid," that would have made so much more sense. So I'm a little bit worried when it comes to that writing. So I feel you on that.
It is possible that they are going to go a little bit heavier because it is the only female character out of the 4 characters.
It doesn't matter.
No, it shouldn't matter. I'm just saying that's probably why they're doing it and whatnot. Which they don't want to make her seem weak in a way, but that would have made her seem better.
I agree. Something you said about it feeling lifeless. Again, it's pre-alpha.
Yeah.
This, for me, sums up exactly what you were talking about. And I bet no one else noticed it. But there's early on, at the very beginning, she's like riding a bike and there's like ice attacks or whatever coming down from the sky. There are other cars out and about. It feels like if you were to follow one of those cars, they don't go anywhere.
Yes.
That's the thing about this. It doesn't feel like anyone's going anywhere or for any reason. They're just there because roads have cars on them.
Yeah.
Pre-alpha footage. We don't know what's going on and all that stuff. But I feel you on that. It doesn't feel like a living city that is having this like calamity happen. It feels like a map where they are adding assets to it.
Yeah.
In pre-alpha of actually a very gorgeous game.
They could fill it with some NPCs afterwards, but this is what they showed us. Yeah. This is the thing that I always say. Like, I do believe that you shouldn't always judge everything by what you see straight away, the first impressions and whatnot. But they give you that thing because they are proud of that thing, so therefore you can give your impressions of it. Yeah, exactly. None of that bullshit about, it's still got tons of polish to do. Yeah, but not that much polish.
This isn't pre-alpha.
Exactly.
Also, okay, perfect example of something that we're talking about that illustrates the other end of the spectrum. Ratchet and Clank.
Yes.
Those worlds feel alive.
They do.
Every single one of them that we saw in the... I get it. It's a clip. It's a teaser and that stuff. But those all feel alive and they're completely alien. We have no idea where they go, but it feels like people are going places, right? And doing things. Didn't really get that. Okay, but I'm interested in it. Yeah. Someone, I think it was Caden, this morning said, I wasn't super happy about it. I get cooled down or warmed to it, and I reckon it'll be a 7 out of 10. I think he's right. I think a 7 out of 10. Once this is, because again, this is pre-alpha. Looking at that game to me, if that released, I'd be like, okay, I get it.
See, maybe there's other things that I have issues with that makes me feel like that it's not.
Go for it,
so
man.
On top of the world not feeling like a Batman game where Batman's all really serious and dark and stuff like that, wallowing in the shadows and stuff like that. On top of that, it's supposed to be either single player or co-op. So it's an online game-ish, not games as a service technically, but you can play with other people. They've come out and they've said a few more things afterwards that I've done some research on. So it turns out that you can only play as 2 people. Okay. Another person can join your game at any time. And that person doesn't have to be necessarily with you. They can be anywhere in Gotham. And I was like, that sounds kind of cool.
That's kind of interesting.
That sounds kind of cool. And
that could make some interesting, missions.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, go on. Say what you
Well, I just think it would be cool, if the Riddler set off a thing here and this thing's happening there, 2 of you can take things out and meet in the middle, having achieved, or if one of you fails and the other one, it changes the mission. Yeah. That could be really interesting.
You need to sort out the power plant over here, for example. Right. You need to go do over there. That could be quite cool and great cooperative and whatnot. Yeah. The missions, they said they can be played as single player or 2 player, so I don't think that would work. Now, and this is the point I wanted to make. When you start adding co-op or multiplayer to something, you have to make certain sacrifices in certain places. So, for example, that scene where you saw where the ice crashed down on the pathway where Babs was going up and whatnot. Yeah. How does that view to the second person? Because the second person wasn't in that same spot to have that cut scene. So, how is that scripted? How is that planned? And then it calls into question the cinematic feel, the storytelling feel for the other person. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, so what you've sacrificed then that for the other person.
That's a good point, because if you're Babs and Robin, and you take Robin and you just watch through that character's camera's perspective, he gets in first and just stands up and is looking at the mission. He doesn't look around at Barbara. Yeah. so that kind of defeats the storytelling
Yeah.
atmosphere. So I feel you.
There is some like give and take there. Maybe they've thought of something amazing for that. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's other things. Apparently, they're not going to have any sort of level gating in this in the co-op thing.
Yeah.
So you could be like a level 1 going in with a level 50, and then you can't hold your own because you're in a boss fight and then you're absolutely weak, or or vice versa.
They did say that the enemies level with you, and so if you're a higher, I think it was the freeze fight.
Yeah.
They were saying you could be doing this at level 5 or level 15, and it will change the sorts of abilities that freeze uses against you and the sorts of abilities you can use against him.
I hope, maybe I'm just misunderstanding it. The way that I understood it was just that, like you said, like that, but I interpreted it as you just have to sort of, if Mr. Freeze is way too high for you, then you have to figure out a way to do it as a low level guy, and then maybe your co-op guy can sort that out
But
for you.
even doing stuff like that where enemies level with you is only really works in games like The Witcher.
Yeah.
Where all that they do, and this has been one of my biggest beefs with gaming for a long time, like I don't want games getting to 250 hours. I don't want difficulty just being like they have 10 times the health and do 10 times the damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's not more difficult. That just takes longer.
Yeah.
Right? And I can't be asked to spend 45 minutes on a boss fight that should be 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? I want them to have more intelligence. I want them to be trickier and harder, and you have to learn and adapt more.
Not damage sponges all of a sudden for sake of it.
Exactly. And I think there's a worry that that's what it will be. Or that you just like, oh, I'm starting I want to spec up my Robin, but I haven't played him yet. Can you jump in with your like max level Nightwing and just ice all this stuff for me? You know, like that could be a problem for sure.
Another thing that bothered me as well, and this was in an interview afterwards, is that apparently you can choose whatever character you want to play with, even in co-op. So if you are playing as Nightwing, I can
Which of
also,
course I'm playing as
obviously,
Nightwing.
I can also come in as Nightwing. So you then have 2 Nightwings rolling around.
I don't like that at all.
It's not good, right?
At all.
That completely fucks with the stories, and that makes it seem so unrealistic. It takes you out of it completely.
Also, like, so in a sense, when you're picking characters with different abilities, it kind of reminds me of something like Overwatch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And games have this a lot where you want a balance.
Yeah.
Like even in Pokemon, if you know the guy's going to bring out this thing, maybe you build a team to affect it, right?
Yeah.
There's a level of skill that is involved in that. There's a level of like creative play. We're going into the freeze fight, and Nightwing's taken. Do I want Red Hood or do I want Babs? I think I'm gonna go with Babs, right? Because she has this ability and that ability, and this is a very movement-based thing, and she's very agile, and Red Hood's like is a tank.
He's a brute, yeah.
Right, exactly. If you take that away, we just like double Babs in Mr. Freeze. Like it's not good.
Then I think what they try to do is take some elements from things like Destiny, for example, where you can play as a warlock, a titan, or a hunter. But the problem is that there's not
faceless.
Yeah, they're not a character.
Yeah.
They're a subclass. They're a type.
Yeah.
It's like going male or female. It's not like those things can coexist. You can have 2 of the same one or 2 or not. Yeah. This is a character, a person.
You can't have 2 Islers.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
You can never have 2 Islers. It's one of a
Exactly.
kind. And that's something that got to me. And then the final thing that really got to me was the damage numbers. I didn't like this. I understand they're trying to go for more of an RPG where they're going to build like a skill tree as well. So like the XP you get, you can unlock certain things and whatnot. I prefer the way they do it in the Arkham games, where it's like it's story based, where suddenly it's like, oh, the time calls for me to have the winch on my Batmobile, or the time calls for me to have my detective gun to like a forensics gun to like scan an environment and whatnot. So now I'm gonna go back to the cave and grab that, whatever it is. That's cinematic and it's controlled, and you can tell me a good story through it. When it's like, okay, I'm gonna put all my points straight away in the batarangs and whatnot, and then I've got tons of batarangs, and it's like.
It
just felt so weird.
It incentivizes a certain way of building out your character. If it's me, any chance I get, I'm going for crits because I want to see those big pings come up. Like I'm. That's why I ran a Frost Mage in World of Warcraft. Like your high crit. So I feel you there. There's something to be said for just doing certain attacks, and not having like that damage. Right? It doesn't. It's not necessary.
Does it feel right in an Arkham game, I should say, in a Batman Arkham game?
I feel you with that. Also because, like, you see a huge number come up on a boss and it does no damage. Like, suddenly you're like, I don't know, you feel disheartened. Whereas if you do an attack, all you know is that you took a small thing off. You're like, okay, cool, this is going to take a while. But I don't know, it's
a
strange.
lot of those games that do have those like damage numbers that come off and whatnot, there's an allure to those numbers coming off because it makes you feel powerful. You're like, oh shit, that was 20,000 point. Oh my god, that was so good. But in a Batman game, the allure is that you're either Batman or you're one of the other characters, and you're fucking zipping around like a fucking superhero.
It's more story, right? Like it's story based. I agree. I don't think the numbers are appropriate in a story based game. That said, they were in The Witcher.
True, and we didn't really find anything problem with that.
I didn't really notice it, though.
To be fair,
I
it's just
I wasn't really paying attention to the numbers.
It's the tiniest thing that comes off at the top of it.
So, I don't know, it's tough. But then, like, there's a reason we always come back to The Witcher. Because it balanced everything, you know?
I feel like on top of it did balance everything. And most importantly, it did balance the story. I feel like if it had everything else perfect, pitch perfect, but the story was shit, we wouldn't come back to The Witcher. And the same thing here. If they've sacrificed too much in the story by making you able to play Witcher even as duplicate characters, the cutscenes are probably going to be very different depending on where you are in the city. Or if they do the thing where, like, say like you're in another part of the city and then Batwoman triggers a cutscene and then it completely takes away your screen because you're somewhere else and shows you their cutscene, that's another detract from the story and whatnot.
Something that could be sick is, let's say, like, you know, let's say you're doing one mission, I'm doing another, and you, let's say, I guess you would lose, let's say, right, and something blows up.
Yeah.
Then if in my cutscene it just cuts to, even if you're in the middle of a fight, let's say you're in a warehouse somewhere, it just cuts to, you know, your Nightwing, obviously, you knock out one guy, you look out the window and boom, and then it cuts back to the game.
That
you
could
would
be
know
cool.
That you failed, but we'd know anyway because we'll be on our headset.
It's true.
So I don't know, it could be cool. I want to be optimistic about it because, I think DC have the best games.
Yes, I agree.
Of the superhero games.
We've seen how Marvel Avengers how terrible that looks.
Exactly. And ultimately, look, Gotham is a great setting. These four characters are all brilliant. I just, we're expecting Batman, but okay.
I think he'll come back, but I don't know if he'll be a playable character. I think he'll come back.
I don't mind him not being.
Yeah, that's true.
That's totally cool. Or maybe if he swoops in, like, as you know, if you do everything right in a boss fight, you get your own boss, and Batman turns up. The Bat.
That could be cool.
Turns up to help you out, right? That would be cool. So there's a lot of cool plays. Bizarrely, because I know we have comments to read now, and we're going to go into the next game in a minute. I am more excited for Suicide Squad.
Me too.
And I'm going to say this up front. I think it's not going to be as good.
Really?
I think as a game, as like a finished product, and as like all sorts of mechanics and story and all that stuff, don't think it'll be as good. I think it'll be the game I prefer by a mile and play way more than the Batman thing. That's the impression that I get.
Interesting.
I think I will give it, despite it not being like as polished and all that stuff, I think I'm going to give it an 8 or a 9 most likely, and this thing will get maybe a 7.
I think Suicide Squad is going to be a 10 out of 10 because there's Superman in it.
That's a good point.
We'll get back to that in a second.
You can't beat the game.
Apparently, so this is the thing. They said that they're not going to put.
I'm totally killing all of them. I'm killing the whole Justice League.
I'm sure you're not going to be able to kill them. There's rumors saying out there you can't kill them and whatnot. The idea
I don't want to play
is
it
that
if I can't kill them.
There's James out there, the fucking idiot James over at the As Always podcast. He's like, I want to play the Suicide Squad so I can kill Superman. I'm like, you are living in a fucking dream world where Assassin's Creed is good if you think that you're going to kill Superman. I'm sorry, my friend. I'm sorry.
I want to fight the whole Justice League.
Yeah.
I want to fight Hawkgirl. I want to fight Martian Manhunter. I want to fight Green Lantern, Superman. Of course, you die fighting Batman, right? No one can beat Batman.
Apparently, he's not going to be in it. Because they... This is the rumor that came out on like Reset Era that no one knows is verified. They said Batman isn't in it because they didn't want to have the player kill Batman. And
you kill the symbol of hope.
And I was like,
you kill what?
But then the next line under it was like, you don't get to kill Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Superman, or one other character, not Green Lantern, another character. And I was like, so then why isn't Batman in there then? Because you're not going to be able to kill it. That doesn't make any sense. So that's why I completely disregarded that rumor. I was like, you contradict contradictory right there. It doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Let me read some comments out. I did ask everybody on our Discord server, which
Yeah.
you guys can join. Totally free. The best place in the world. Filled with lots of nudes of Sheps.
It's true.
It's down in the description. Click that button right there. I asked the guys, what do you guys feel about the 2 games that were announced?
Yeah.
So it's a gaming podcast. Tell us what you guys think. Our boy Ben, he wrote in and he said, Gotham shites. He says, it's shit. The idea of an Arkham game with the light RPG elements make me feel sick. He also said one last thing, fuck Diogo, but it's and it's all his fault. So that's
How many of the
that's
Arkham games have you played?
I've played Arkham Asylum and Arkham Knight.
Cool. I think that's the same as me.
Yeah?
Because just because that's the way I did it. My favourite of the lot is Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Weirdly, it's on rails. That's exactly how I want to play a Batman game.
Mm-hmm. When it's a good tight story as well, especially when it's a comic book hero,
Yeah.
you want a narrative to be told to you. You want something to be,
Yeah.
you be
I
guided.
want to play a comic. I want that comic
Exactly.
book, and I just want to control the actions up to the point where I get my cutscenes,
Exactly.
which are flipping through the pages. That's how I want to play it. So I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah. Diogo wrote in, and he wrote in a lot more about the Suicide Squad one,
Okay.
but he goes, Gotham Knights disappointed.
Mate,
what it says
stop
right
it with the essays. You need to do the paragraphs.
Gonna have to put a word limit on this stuff in here, you know, some of the guys. This one is, I think this is Isak. Yes, it is Isak.
Yeah.
It says, who killed Captain Alex for Movie Club? So I've never even heard of that movie, have you? There we go. He goes, for me, Gotham Knights looks like Odyssey with a Batman reskin with Avengers thrown in there for absolutely no reason. Known to science or theoretical physics. Physicists. So I was immediately let down by what was shown. That was the thing that got
That's
me.
savage.
That
by
is
the
an
way.
actual savage comment right there.
And I.
He's dead!
Where's-
Stop kicking him!
Yeah, where's the lie? Yeah, fair enough.
That last line needs to be highlighted because when we heard about these leaks, well, when these teasers were happening, they were like, Court of Owls, captured the night, and it was spelled as K, and one was like,
Yeah.
oh, night,
As
oh,
in the
shit.
dark Knight.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Knight.
Capture the Knight.
Yes. And then we get the game, and Batman's dead. I was like, so what was all of that before?
And where's the Court of Owls?
Yeah.
Unless this is the big play. Unless the big play, and we're in pre-alpha, we're in teasing stages. The big play is that Batman is dead, so that he can get involved or start picking away at the
Apparently,
Court of Owls.
apparently that is the comic book story.
Well, that's what happened.
Yeah, I
that's
don't
the
know.
comic book.
I haven't watched. So I
The
can't
thing is,
confirm.
these things never go that. They can depart greatly. The worst offender, like Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
So these things can really desperately be different. Plus, just like with movies, we get different. They decide on different decisions.
Yeah.
Right. Like the Schneider cut.
The Schneider cut. That's right. Yes.
That's not the same movie we saw.
Yes, it really
By
wasn't.
a long way. It's totally different, and it includes scenes that I didn't know existed. We're doing all of these topics, boys.
All of these.
Do you remember I was saying that Superman needs one scene in particular where he lands in the corn, he looks around, he smiles, and then everybody comes out to him?
Yeah.
It's fucking in there!
It's in the fucking
because he gets Superman. I was like, we needed that.
Yeah.
That's the point where, oh god, what have we done, turns into Superman's back.
Yeah.
Right? And we see that, again, Superman isn't Superman. Clark Kent wears a Superman costume.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's Clark Kent that's back, not Superman. Clark Kent came back. Happy days, right? Phew. And I thought that was a great scene, and it's fucking in there. So like I'm sold. Anyway,
Yes.
I totally feel this.
We were let down because it wasn't. There's no Batman isn't there.
I feel like let down is a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
And also, if he's not playable,
It's gonna be another misstep.
I mean, if he's not playable until the very end, you need a bit where you play him. If he's alive, I need to be able to control him, most likely. Right?
Yeah.
I don't see a version of me playing. I don't want to be Robin in the game.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to be Robin to Batman. I want to be Batman.
When Batman's there, you want to have the option to be Batman, not his
Right.
sidekick.
Right.
A lot of guys as well. When because I did the watch along stream for all of the big events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was I put up a reaction of me just watching the Gotham Knights trailer, and a lot of people It was very 50-50. That was the most dislikes we ever had on a video.
Yeah, we got ratioed on that.
But
you got ratioed. Why
Exactly.
are you damaging my channel?
But it was still fairly balanced. Where there was like normally we're insanely positive, like high 90s and whatnot. Cool.
Yeah.
But this time was more like close to 50-50.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, they were making the same dumb comment in the comment section. They were like, it's called Arkham Knight. It's not called Batman Arkham Knights. That's why there's no Batman. And I was like, pull up the trailer. Trailer for Batman Arkham Knights. It's Batman Arkham Knights.
Also,
And I'm like, that's your only criticism of what I said, and you're incorrect.
here's the way joining a game should work.
Yes.
I turn on my PlayStation. The Ednator Pussy Pounder 69 is playing.
That's my name, yeah.
Right? Batman Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
Cool, he's doing this mission. That's my favourite mission. I'll join in. Of course he's Batman. He's playing in a Batman game.
Yes.
Who comes to help Batman? Nightwing, Robin, Red...
Makes sense right there.
Then I don't mind.
Yeah.
Because I'm joining with my boy in his game. Yes, Batman and Nightwing team up. Of course I'm only playing Nightwing. But besides the point, right?
Grace, come here.
Right, no, we Sheps, we really need Barbara here. No, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to click it. It's not letting me. It's all grayed out. It's all grayed out. I can only pick.
For some reason,
only
this will allow you to be the same character as me. Of course, you could be Bab. Nah, can't do it. Sorry,
Right.
man, can't do it. Oh man. Despite, let me actually continue. There's a few more bits.
Yes, we should read the rest of
One
this.
positive one. This is
Okay.
from our boy Zit here. He goes, Gotham Knights, hot take, but I'm actually optimistic for this game. I was fully on board until I saw the leveling and health bars.
I agree. Those are. Yeah, I agree.
But I hope I can be remedied. As someone who read many Batman comics, I'm very excited to play as the rest of the Bat family. I understand the outrage and disappointment, but I don't share it.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised it doesn't play exactly like the Arkham games, since WB make their own games, because it isn't Rocksteady who made the previous ones and whatnot.
By the way, talking
Which
about
is
WB, new season of Lucifer, pretty good.
Oh yes, I'm
I-
season episode 6. I'm not fully finished. yet.
I've finished episode 3 or 4. First two episodes, I was not sure. I'm fully on board by episode 3.
I know what you mean. When I was like, but then it got back.
Yeah,
It
we're
rose
back. We're back. We're good. So Total said, although he's DC,
Yes.
he's in the universe. It's,
I tried to explain it to my girl the other day. I was like, yeah, he's a DC in the
Yeah.
DC universe. I was like, what?
yeah.
And I was like, well, you see Constantine and then the devil, and there's
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
he's there. So, by the way, are the Supernatural boys there in it as well? So,
Anyway.
greatest universe. The thing about the leveling and the health bars is technically that happens in most games anyway, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can, let's say you don't level, but you get all these ability points. You know, by the end of an Arkham game, everything's upgraded and stuff, right? Technically, that is leveling.
Yeah.
The health bars, that's a decision because that is still there. It's just whether or not you get to
You
see
see
it.
them, yeah.
So, and if they're smart, it'll be an option to turn it the frick off.
Yes, that's what a couple of people said in the stream as well while I do it. They were like, I hope you can turn off the bars and turn off the damage numbers just to turn it back into a normal, like, Arkham game.
I did that with Ghost of Tsushima as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, the first few times when you're getting a feel for how it works, it's, like, good to see, and then I'm like, hey, this has to come off.
Yeah, I agree.
It
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
fit, it doesn't make sense, it's weird.
It makes it more cinematic as well and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
I need to play
Yeah.
that through in Kurosawa mode.
Kurosawa mode. I was going to say, I'm not an expert, so I didn't want to say it and be wrong and whatnot.
Yeah, you and names as well.
Yeah, that's another thing. We have Iron Vengeance. Says, first off, Gotham Knights doesn't look interesting to me, especially with light RPG mechanics like XP, leveling, camps, which I didn't know there was camps as well. It's bad, right? It's bad.
Well, at least they're not going to do that for something like Halo.
Hopefully
At least
not,
it kind
right?
of fits, right? Like, gangsters would run in packs.
Yeah.
And, like,
Aliens and grunts, they don't do that kind of
No.
thing. They've got a planet. And all that BS. In my opinion, RPG genre is really being overused now. I mean, AC did it too much and now has ruined it for everyone. Every other game is literally an RPG, and franchises where they were never RPGs are being now turned into their own games with
Yeah.
the shallow RPG. Cough AC, just that right there. Anywhere. Is that anyway? Oh, sorry, anyone it says, but I think it means anyway. Anyway, I was interested in the game until I saw the shitty leveling and the graphics didn't look at all good. That's another thing. I didn't like the cape physics when she
I
was
was
on the
going
thing.
to say the cape physics is horrendous. Again, pre-alpha build.
Yes.
So we'll give it to them. it's also a very notoriously difficult item
Mm-hmm.
to, for some reason, like, it's because...
And it's on current gen, so it's not going to be anything revolutionary like next gen or something like that.
Exactly. But yeah, I think cape physics, it's so hard to get the cloth to move it and then not like artifact or clip.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know.
It was very strange.
There was one where it was just like straight up above, I think it was Barbara, which like lands and the cape's like this for like 2 seconds and it just drops.
Especially the bit when she was on the bike as well. I was like, it's dead straight. It's dead straight.
Yeah.
That's not how wind works. Anyway, that's what he said. And everyone else had pretty much a similar sort of thing right here. We had everyone else like that. So that's the Gotham Knights. I'm
free alpha footage, what would you give it out of 10?
I think it'll be fun with friends. So I'm gonna give it something like a 7. But I think it's going to detract when I'm playing by myself. I'm going to be like, why am I playing this?
I don't think this is a game I play on my own.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't think I do.
That's the thing. I could play with you.
Yeah.
But then... And I wouldn't pick the same character as you. So I'd be like, who am I going to play?
I wouldn't play Battlefront on my own either.
Yeah.
These days, anyway.
Yeah.
I used to back in 2 years ago. But
yeah.
You know, if I was going to fire up Battlefront, it'd be to jam with you. You know?
I'm going to get this game because I'm such a hardcore DC fan.
It's a DC game.
Exactly.
You have to.
It's like, is that a DC game? Well, I'm gonna give you my money. Here's my money. So I'm gonna play it.
If I'm at that point in my budget where I can only get one, I'm getting the Suicide game.
Yes. Luckily, these games are a year apart. They're going to be coming out once.
Hypothetically, I was saying, you know.
Yeah. This one says 2021 on it. That's when it's to be coming out. No actual release date. And then Suicide Squad 2022. And speaking of Suicide Squad,
yes,
that was the other game that they showed off at the DC fandom. It was
the trailer.
Really, really late at night, and it's very far out. This game is coming out 2022. It's called Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, and it starts off with Harley Quinn in the trailer and whatnot.
I would be really genuinely upset if we cannot kill the Justice League. All of them, by the way. Like, look. If we're doing in Superman, I'm okay to do in Batman as well, right? Like, that's the point of this game. If it looked like Brainiac's landed.
Yeah, let me lay out the trailer a little bit and then we'll talk into it. So, basically, it starts off... Yeah, Brainiac, yes. They starts off with showing off the Suicide Squad. Only 4 of the characters. You got Deadshot, you got Captain Boomerang, you got Harley Quinn, you got King Shark. Yeah. Great characters, they're fine and whatnot. I mean,
King Shark, but did you ever see the cartoon Street Sharks back in the day?
Yes, I did. Yes, that's exactly what I looked
at.
I was like,
oh, he looks like one. That's what it would look like.
If you're looking at the video version, or if you're in the podcast, go to the video. The way that you just went, that's what they look like. This is my childhood right here. That was perfect. Yeah. So it shows them off and everything's sort of like broken around them. And there is a shot where it shows Brainiac's headquarters and you see the 3 circle
headquarters
because it's a head. It's like a skull. And there's the Brainiac symbol. That's why you know it's Brainiac and whatnot. And very clearly from that moment I was like, that's how Superman's evil because he's being controlled by a mind.
Yeah, obviously.
And it zooms out. They start going around. They show a few abilities from like Deadshot, obviously being super accurate. Harley Quinn with her bat. King Shark being just a muscular guy. And they show Boomerang having some sort of like quick abilities. Or
well, like it looked like he threw a boomerang and then could teleport to it.
Yeah, almost right. And it was very interesting.
I mean,
it was a CG trailer.
It was a CG trailer.
So nothing serious. And whatnot.
Also, I actually don't know how I feel about that because. So far, everybody but Harley has like a superpower. Deadshot is good with guns, fine, but he's like so insanely good with guns that it's a superpower, right? It's not hitting someone with a baseball bat while you're also a 140-pound woman. No, you know, like I feel like maybe going up against Superman as just a chick with a bat, maybe not ideal, but you know, like I'm interested in it. It looked good. It looked fun. It looked like a lot of fun, and it looked like they got the characters right. You know, at the beginning where she's talking to Waller on the thing, and she's like, "Oh, we couldn't find the, you know, a target acquired. Oh, we lost the target. It's their pizza. You know, like, that's perfect for them. You know."
And then just after you get introduced to those characters and a bit of shooting and stuff like that, you see a helicopter flying from the sky, and then an explosion, and Superman holding one of the pilots. Yeah. And King Shark, in the best way possible, in the best line ever that's ever been delivered to him. It's like, oh my God, it's Superman. We're all saved, everyone.
He saved the pilot.
He saved the pilot. What a great guy. We're all saved now. It's okay. And then all you see is Superman.
The mightiest of the Justice League. and he just he like Thanos snaps this guy.
All we see is a reflection, just these like bright red eyes, and then suddenly, zoom,
yeah.
and there's just ash everywhere, and everyone's like, "Oh."
And then boomerang.
Boomerang. So who are we fighting then?
It looks great.
The whole trailer. So I love the feel of the whole trailer. They got Suicide Squad right, which is supposed to be, if you do serious, you're doing it wrong.
Stupid, yeah,
Quirky and stupid.
Yeah,
I got Sunset Overdrive vibes from this.
Yes, I feel like, no joke, they need to work a way to get Ryan Reynolds in there.
Yes.
Because like Deadpool would fit perfectly.
Yeah,
in,
if only
in
it wasn't
Suicide
fucking Marvel.
Right, but he would fit perfectly in Suicide Squad, right? He's just the right vibe for it.
Yeah.
So that's the vibe you need to go for Suicide Squad, yeah.
How did you feel about Superman?
The model was not great, personally, I felt.
People were saying he looked like John Cena, and I was like, I can see the
John
look.
Cena's not a bad pick look-wise. I mean, he's too muscular for the role, but facially it's fine. He looked a little bit like a doll, you know, like maybe it's a doll.
They were going for a bit of a. They were going for a certain aesthetic. The other characters looked a bit off as well. They weren't trying to go realistic, at least. Anyway,
I don't mind. Typically our big complaint about the way Superman is shot, at least the last few films, far too dark.
Yeah,
he was in a lot of shadow here, but it's fine because they were going for more of a villain feel.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's shot in a similar lighting to someone like Homelander, where he's often dark in shadow, the light, those could be the red of being saved, or like the red of hell. It depends on which side you're on.
There was a hint of purple in it to show that he's under control, but that red is like,
whoa, maybe some dark veins around the eyes. So you can tell that he's not there himself.
Yeah.
But I love the aesthetic of Superman as a villain in particular. Like that's one of the reasons Homelander is one of my favorite characters in The Boys, apart from an incredible performance. But there's something about Superman as like the Red Sun or the villain that he's a brilliant villain, you know? And again, when we've ever spoken about Superman, well, you and I understand Superman, so the character you're invested in is Clark Kent, not Superman.
Yeah.
But the Superman problem is it's hard to become invested in a character who's like literally bulletproof and stuff. But as a villain, that's a great thing
that
for a
is
villain
very
to
good.
have.
That's the thing. A lot of people see as when they see Superman, they see that, as you said, like the bulletproof guy that's an alien from another planet, and that's all they see. So it's very hard for people to get attached to that.
I see Clark Kent with a costume on.
That's the
I
thing.
see Clark Kent in cosplay.
People who want to see a true character, they'll go for something else. They'll see the guy that wants to save everyone, that's more human than most humans are, and stuff like that.
And that's what makes Superman, like, I guess, scary in this scene.
Yeah.
Which is, that's not Clark Kent in cosplay. That's a Kryptonian under orders from Brainiac.
Yes.
That's freaking scary, man. That's
scary.
No good. That is no bueno.
You
don't want to be there.
Even the newer movies where they're like the Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, where they say, "Could you imagine what it'd be like if Superman was to not, like, be nice and
burn
one
the
day?"
planet down.
Oh my! And that's exactly what it is.
That's that.
I will say one thing, contrary to our hype for this at the moment.
Okay.
I think evil Superman is really overdone. I mean that maybe that's because I want a game where he's actually good and want to see the best of Superman to show people like why Superman is cool and whatnot.
Sure.
And also we do have evil Superman characters. That's why we have Bizarro, because Superman is so good and so pure and so hopeful that there needs to be an opposite character that can fight with him, similar sort of powers and whatnot. I was like, and that's why I thought that also that this was gonna be. There was people saying that he was going to be Bizarro when they saw the teaser shot, and I was like, no,
Bizarro would have been cool.
It would have been cool, but it didn't work anyway. They went for a different direction. I think because in Injustice, he's Superman under mind control again. Yeah. In this, he's Superman under mind control. I want someone to take a shot. Please, for the love of God, someone take a shot at doing the dorky Clark Kent, or somebody being hopeful and bringing hope to the world, as well as all these other characters with the Justice League characters. Something, please, I implore you.
2 points.
Please.
One, the reason I like Superman, I don't play Injustice, I don't give a fuck about that. I like it here because it's the betrayal. He's the symbol of hope.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's Superman, and it's flip, man. Like it's that kind of it hurts more because he's supposed to be on your side and you're gonna have to get rid of him, and he's like the greatest defender of Earth and all that stuff. So I like it for this. 2, Superman game needs to be 50-50, playing as Superman, and then those scenes from like The Last of Us where you're just walking around the house, learning about Martha and like what does Clark Kent do in his free time?
Yeah.
You know, like I want to have to go through and Clark opens a drawer and finds like his Game Boy Color, but it's out of batteries. Where are the double A's?
Just day-to-day stuff that Clark would do.
I'm not even joking.
I agree.
And then like little bits were like, oh hey Clark, can you help me like move the sofa? Yeah, cool. Lift the whole sofa.
Whole sofa up with one hand. Yes.
Right. Or like she's like, wait. Puts the blinds down. All right. Yeah. He lifts it. Like,
I agree. That would be fucking sick.
I would put half of the game.
Yeah.
I would put Clark Kent and Lois go to the bank and do normal stuff in my game.
And you know what would be good?
Clark Kent's the real character. That's why I think a real Superman game is going to be. Forget all the like beefing you out about it not being a real thing, because Batman is the real character, right? That's why you don't play as Bruce Wayne, because no one wants to play as the fake character.
What are you gonna do? Go to a restaurant and buy the restaurant?
Right, exactly. Like A to buy, like
B to just order your wine.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like X to get into the fish tank. You know, like Clark Kent's the real character.
Yeah.
And making the player aware is going to make that really difficult. Like you would have to figure out a way to make him have to do everyday things as Clark Kent and avoid using his power, like doing a thing where like the chance normally you have to tap X as fast as you can to like lift the thing.
Yeah.
Here you have to balance it, so if you tap it too fast, you fail the mission because you're clearly fucking Superman. You can't lift a car like as Clark Kent.
Yeah.
You'd have to put that stuff in. Right. Or you wait till everybody's not looking, you just put it down, right? Like that's the game.
Do you know what I just
would play that as well.
I had a flashback of I had a thought of this. You could also include flashbacks into those. So say like it's the intro sequence, and it's just like you're Clark Kent, you come home, Lois is around, you're making dinner, whatever, the regular day-to-day stuff, and then you see like a picture of like your father and whatnot, like Jonathan Kent. Then you have a flashback of a time or a place or something like that where you was learning your abilities or whatever it might be, and you can go back and forth, and then
that's how.
After a while,
none of this fucking Cal forgot how to jump.
No.
It flashes back to 11-year-old Clark learning about his heat vision.
Yeah.
Right? This is how you use it. You hold R1 and L1 together.
Like he jumped to grab something in the barn and then he went through the fucking roof or something like that. Like, whoa!
Right. So it's flashbacks to him learning the ability for the first time from like pictures around the house, right? And I also want to see the day-to-day stuff of forgetting that, like, being Clark Kent but forgetting he's Superman strong. Like he comes home from a stressful day in cutscene. This is a throwaway section.
Yeah.
Goes to pull off his tie and just snap. Lois, I did it again. You know, like. We need little things like... Anyway, total aside. That's how you do Superman.
That's the Superman game that we want. Get on it, Rocksteady.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is going to be bad, that they shouldn't have done an evil Superman. I'm just saying that I wish we had another Superman. That being said, I think, sneakily, this is, as we said before, this is going to be a Justice League game, what we think anyway. I think they're going to do Superman well when he finally comes round. When the mind control has officially been taken off, he's going to be the symbol of hope, and it's like everyone comes back and stuff like that. I think they're gonna do well. I think that's why I'm more hopeful for this game than I am for the Gotham.
I have also said a few times that talking the amount that they have said about Superman means that they are genuinely considering it. They're just trying to figure out the dynamic of how you do a superhero that has these like narrative problems of like being bulletproof and stuff, right? Like where's the risk? And that this is a way for them to pressure test this stuff. How is Superman in a game as like a boss? How is Superman in a game if you free him or if you kill him, or like what? How do people react to that stuff? How does the internet react to killing Superman?
Yeah.
How do they react to having? What are the ways that we can have Harley Quinn giving Superman a hard time if you play as Harley Quinn?
Yeah.
How do people react to that? Do they think it's stupid? No, they don't. Well, then we can have like mortal enemies attack him in this way.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, because I would love to see a game. Preface, really, and I genuinely mean it. 50% Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Like I really mean it. And I think it would have to be short out of necessity, like 10 to 15 hours max.
Yeah, because it could get too dull and whatnot. Like, don't get me wrong, flying around would be fun and stuff like that. The thing, the one superhero where that is absolutely fun is Spider-Man, where like you can just swing around. Well, that's cool because it's all varied and different.
Another
and
feature
like
you would need in this game if you're going to have the flying around thing is that you can fly through buildings, like through buildings.
Yeah.
And then you end up in a GTA sense where if you do enough, they send the Justice League after you. That you would need that, and I'm not even joking. I think you would need that. They would be non-playable, but they would send like boss enemies against you. It would be like Batman and fucking Wonder Woman turn up. You know, Diana's there saying, "Clark, what are you doing?"
Could you imagine? What's the conversation? It was like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
you went
tore
through a
up
building.
You tore Metropolis. What are you doing? Like, oh no, Clark's gone crazy. You know, because you did too much damage. Right?
Someone called Doomsday.
Right. So like, and then I think you would need little things like that where if you can, because you can't include that. If Superman bounces off a building,
I think they're gonna.
Right, you know?
If there was ever a game like this, and this is obviously one of the problems that's probably held it back from actually coming to life, they wouldn't be able to put you in that situation because I don't think that makes. It takes you out of it when like, oh, they come after you or something like that because they're your friends. Why would they do that and whatnot? Why would you even do it in the first place? You know,
or something.
Maybe, but because it's not true, then it's like, oh, so you're not brainiac. Okay. Well, anyway, this is probably the reasons. But the whole thing about a character being, bulletproof and whatnot, I don't think that's a good enough excuse because we've had characters that can do that. Kratos, for example, completely bulletproof, gets smacked by a god. The other guy, Balder, what's his name that he fights?
Balder,
yeah, he's also bulletproof, completely fine. Doesn't matter. They still made him compelling. There are characters that are done. Other things may be a problem, but they can be done. I just think it just lacks the right creative person for at the moment. Anyway,
I think so. Because I think that's a really good pick of Kratos. Mm. Kratos is much more limited in his options, right? Like, just on the officially recognized power list, freezing breath, laser vision, flight. Mm-hmm. So, whereas Kratos is, let's say, basically Superman.
Yeah.
Who can't fly, like he's range bound. So he's limited at least in that sense. Like, if he was fighting a dragon, like, Superman's going to rip through a dragon, no problem. Kratos has to physically be able to. Half the fight is figuring out how to get onto the dragon before you cut your way through it.
Yeah.
So, I feel you.
I think it could still be done because even Kratos could jump up to the guy if he wants to because he's really super strong. I think it could be done. It's just it needs to be done creatively, and I think everyone sort of. Yeah. There are other things. I think the more stuff is traversing and stuff like you said. Anyway, we're not talking about the best Superman game. We're talking about Suicide Squad. How did you feel?
Figure out how to stay on track just for once.
Do you know what? We're never gonna figure it out, but that's part of the charm. How did you feel about the Suicide Squad game? Are you excited? Is it something you're interested in?
I mean, we don't know anything about the game.
Yes, we don't.
Super excited for it. I think it looks great.
I think it's good as well. I think it's gonna be better than the Gotham Knights game.
I agree.
They both come out at different times. I'm probably gonna play both of them because, as we said, we're both DC fans here.
I'll tell you what it is. It feels like they got the feel right for it. So like Harley feels like the Harley that I know.
Yeah.
You know, nonetheless, like as much as I do like what's her name? Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
She's a great actress. I just didn't vibe that well with that version of Harley. My Harley is first of all a little bit more complex and doesn't deliver these weird like psychology breakdowns in a bar.
Yeah.
You know, and she's just more quirky and she's deeper, frankly. And I feel like that Harley, at least the fun side of it, we saw better there.
Yeah.
You know, that's me. So I feel like they got the feel of all those characters correct, and it's it's quirky and stupid and silly. It's basically a Deadpool movie with 4 characters.
Yeah.
Looks perfect to me. I'm down.
I think it's be good. I said I like the feel of it. It looked very cool. They had Superman in it, so automatically gets a 10 out of 10.
Exactly, it's a perfect game.
And I did like the Brainiac inclusion, something that I didn't think about at the time. But I like Brainiac as a villain. He's a very compelling villain and whatnot. And also because he's combatable because the Justice League can fight him, but he can also take out the Justice League in a not a brute force kind of way. He's an intellectual. He's much smarter than anybody ever. So it's like, okay, how do you fight that? You can't fight that with muscle.
Yeah,
like,
it's mind control.
Exactly.
So I dig it. It's
very, very cool. Yeah. There was a couple of guys that said some stuff in the Discord server. So Diogo said, cautiously optimistic, waiting for more details from both, he said. At least from what Rocksteady said, it sounds better than Gotham Knights, which is which just has a premise, in my opinion. I hope to be wrong, though. Side note, installed Fortnite for my sister, did a few rounds of Victory Royale. Oh, we got a Victory Royale on this first try. Quit bragging on that child's game, okay? Besides, we're not friends with Epic anymore because they're fighting Apple, because we're Apple bros, right?
I do like. What are they doing? What's the beef?
That's actually one of the stories, so we'll come back to that in a second.
Because I knew they were beefing, but I'm like, it's not a big deal. But
it turned out to be a lot bigger than we thought, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, who killed Captain Alex for Movie Club says, when it comes to the Suicide Squad, so far I like what I've heard and seen, but honestly at this moment it's too early to tell what it's going to be like. So I'd like to be cautiously keep my hopes up.
I'm recklessly optimistic.
We are recklessly optimistic. I mean, even when it came to the Marvel thing, when we first played it, we was like, do you know what? I like throwing things around as Hulk and stuff like that. Not too bad.
I actually did.
We see the beta and we're like, oh, this is terrible.
Weirdly enough, the two that I enjoyed the most were Hulk and Black Widow.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that at all.
It turns out to be fucking awful.
Alright, yeah.
Have you heard some of the lines from Kamala Khan?
No, but I've heard that it's bad. Also, because the thing that really bugs me is genuinely Laura Bailey, one of my favourite voice actresses out there, and I'm super invested in her because I watched the Dungeons and Dragons podcast that she does, which is she's hilarious, she's brilliant, and genuinely without like simping, which I totally do simp. One of the most talented voice actors. I don't know what we're supposed to be saying in 2020 now.
Yeah,
cancelled.
Cancel ships everywhere.
Right, but she's genuinely brilliant, and I hear like somebody was like, Laura Bailey got done so dirty because she's brilliant, this character is trash.
Yes, it's pretty bad. Like, they told her, they were like, oh, she's a teenager, and this is how teenagers sound. But I think nobody ever spoke to a teenager. She's sort of like, oh my god, I'm in the Avengers headquarters. Oh my god, that's Hulk's thing. It's like, that's Tony's helmet. Oh my god. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Do you know the worst thing as well? It's like, especially in this whole pandemic thing. Because again, I've watched this podcast and they're all professional voice actors and stuff. They're talking about, how they work, and they literally have recording studios at home. So it's not like it's not like for everything they're in there in the mocap, reading the script, acting it all out, where you can kind of get a feel, oh, this is garbage, right?
Yeah.
First of all, even if that is the case, if it pays the bills, like I'm not gonna attack someone for paying the bills, like,
definitely.
But even worse, if they're at home just doing VO in like their closet, right? I do not begrudge that person who gets the brief. This is a teenager. She's in the Avengers headquarters. This is what she sounds like, and you're like, I'd be freaking out about Iron Man's suit. You kid? Of course I would. Yeah. I'm a 30-year-old man. So I don't begrudge like Laura Bailey, but I hear that character is just, it makes no sense.
Pretty bad. Another stupid thing that they've done, and this is going to be, should I mention it now? Fuck it, I'm going to mention it now. So in the story, Captain America dies straight away.
Okay.
And we're like, okay, cool, no problem. It's probably going to be one of those fake deaths where, a bit like Batman, and he's going to come back later,
Captain America doesn't die straight away, come on.
Exactly, it's Captain America. But they didn't even play along with their own lie. There's a bunch of skins that are exclusive to like Verizon, fucking shit, Square Enix, a bunch of things and whatnot.
We played this Cap in the
beginning, but in that scene he does get blown up. Yeah. But they're like, oh, Captain America's dead, and you're gonna have to live in a world without Captain America. And we're like, first of all, bullshit, we don't believe you, so don't strive for us.
Well, also, like, why would you put in that much development to create this thing for half a level? This is bullshit.
Exactly. And you went for a too high of a character. If you went Hulk, then it's like, okay, I don't understand how that worked, but he's a bit lower down than Captain America.
Yeah.
But anyway, they made a bunch of pre-order skins. Yeah, exactly.
Black Widow would have been great.
Exactly. They made a bunch of pre-order skins that are exclusive to certain companies like Verizon, and they've got a Captain America skin.
For $3.99, you can get this exclusive skin to play this character that's dead after the first level.
And in the beta, they've got other ones as well that you can get. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you?
It doesn't even make sense.
You didn't even play along with your own lie.
Release these 2 weeks after launch.
Exactly.
Come on. It should have been a grayed out secret skin.
Right.
A secret skin that's randomized. It's not random. We're gonna, we randomizedly. We have 3 of these Captain America skins. You got one of the 3.
And what's extra stupid is that they have the.
And then in the shadow, it's got a shield.
You just see, it's the only character with a shield for some reason. They actually have the Marvel event, so the Avengers from the movies skin as one of the options. I'm like, why didn't you use that for the main one instead of the crappy skin? Anyway, we're getting off topic.
That's a great suit, by the way.
That's
perfect.
Perfect stuff. Zahir also writes in about the Suicide Squad game, and
Oh
he
yeah,
says,
sorry, we're talking about Suicide
still
Squad.
talk about that. I'm optimistic about this too. Rocksteady have proved that they are a great studio. Again, another reason why I'm optimistic about this game.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm sure they'll do great with this game. I appreciate that the game is fully playable solo, which is a great thing as well.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that it's in the same universe as the Arkham games. The Gotham Knights one actually isn't. So
Yes, yeah.
that's why Babs can walk,
Yeah,
because she's otherwise wheelchair bound.
Yeah.
Some people in the stream were like, I don't get it. Is she in the same universe? Because did she just work out and then she grew her legs back or something?
I actually thought...
Unparalyzed herself?
I actually thought that it was in the suit that would like servo, on her legs.
You didn't watch the second half of the...
I saw Bruce.
The cruise. You saw
I saw
Bruce,
him,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm just like, what the fuck is that?
I was like, no, it makes sense. She's got access to the Wayne fortune. She has an exoskeleton thing in the suit. You just can't see it. Personally, I would have added red lights on her knees to show that, and her hips to show it's been doing. But
it turns out she's actually able-bodied. Completely. You come up with this whole cool thing. Ooh, I wonder.
I'm like, guys, don't be stupid.
Robo-legs.
You're all idiots. She's got an exoskeleton. You guys are stupid. Learn your... No, I'm an idiot.
There's Arkham games, and being in Metropolis is a nice change of setting, which is true.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see how they handle the story. Very good right there.
Yeah, we're cautiously excited.
And I Am Vengeance, what did he say? This is Gamer Chat. He says, Suicide Squad game, don't care. Was never a Suicide Squad fan to begin with. To be fair, not many people were. Suicide Squad
liked it. I like them because it's the DC Deadpool.
True.
It's just quirky and stupid because they're put in these ridiculous situations that Harley Quinn should not be fighting Superman. Harley Quinn should not be fighting Enchantress.
Yeah, no.
But it's like,
don't mention Enchantress.
Like, you are expendable. We need the recut of that.
There's nothing that can be said from that. I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Like the premise is you're frickin' expendable.
Yep.
And we can't always have whoever we want on call. We're gonna throw you at them. If you die, no harm done.
Yeah.
Right? We save the taxpayer your costs.
Yeah.
If you win, great. And we put you back in prison or we blow your heads off.
There you go.
It's quirky. And then of course fucking Captain Boomerang's gonna try and escape and all that stuff. Oh, she's awake. I haven't met her yet.
You really want to see it. By the way, Isla was crying in case you couldn't hear that in the other room like that.
Yeah, normally it's like, oh no, the baby's crying. I'm like, yes, I finally get to meet her.
So just to continue his thing, he said, I've not been a big fan of Suicide Squad to begin with, although I've heard good stuff about Rocksteady since they made the best Arkham games. So at least that it will be better than Gotham Knights. Everyone's ragging on Gotham Knights. I love it. It just shows that Zahir's wrong with his optimistic opinion. I think Rocksteady should have made the Gotham Knights game and WB should have made the Suicide Squad game. It would have made more sense seeing as they've got more interest in the Gotham Arkham universe.
It would have made more sense, but I don't mind it.
I imagine they probably went, okay, we made Origins, we made Asylum, we made Night. Can we make something else for once?
Right.
And they wanted to go somewhere else. So that's cool right there. Anyway, the world is what it is right now. We can't change it.
Also, look, we may not be like... You may not be super hyped for the game, but Rocksteady have proven that they know how to do this thing, right? Depending on how much you like the stories, they've proved how well they can do a narrative.
Yeah.
They've proved that they can take it from, super linear like Asylum to a little bit more open. I wouldn't call it open world, but
it's
bound open world, I guess. Right?
It is quite open, but I don't know whether that's truly accurate to describe it that way. Yeah.
I mean, it's open. I don't feel like it's open world in the sense that, like, something like The Witcher, which is kind of my go-to when you say open world.
Yeah.
So, I they got a great
I think
track
Assassin's
record.
Creed when you say that. Okay.
So I'm optimistic about it, to be honest. Yeah.
Darkness Eyes had wrote in a comment, but his issues with Suicide Squad are a little bit more about the universe that Suicide Squad is in.
Yeah, I feel that.
He goes, so is no one going to mention the Suicide Squad game retcons a lot of the Arkham universe stuff? Because if it's in the same universe, then it has to be, right?
True.
He goes, Deadshot appeared twice in the games. He also is animated in the Suicide Squad film, and he's white. I wonder how they're going to explain that. Also, Captain Boomerang and King Shark is dead in the Arkham universe. The first was killed by Deadshot in a comic book. The second was killed by Amanda Waller when the Riddler tried to deactivate the bomb inside him. Yeah, so all of these problems.
I mean, again, it depends. Like, what is canon for these? Is it the comic as well, or is it just what's been done in the video game universe of the thing?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I have a feeling because it's a different look to everything else that's been in the Arkham universe and whatnot, I feel like they're going to say either this is not canon or they're going to retcon a bunch of stuff like you said.
I mean, I also don't necessarily have a problem with them just saying, we're making a Suicide Squad game and we're picking and choosing the way we want the world to work. It's not canon, but it's also not canon. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's the way they're going to do
here
it.
It is. Like, do you want to play a superhero game
Enjoy.
or not? If you don't get it. If you do, here it is. You know, like every time you open up a new comic, right? Or if it's like a new timeline.
Yeah.
Like, you have to learn what's canon for that timeline.
Yeah.
Right? Or that universe or whatever you're reading. Like, Miles Morales, that's not canon because Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Oh, wait, it's slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So, just, you're given this and just assume that whatever that you experience in the world, that's the way this is. And it doesn't necessarily have to carry on from everything because we're focusing on Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
That's me personally.
I'm gonna put my mind in that set as well. Just be like, it's a game just to enjoy and just sorry about that meaty click right there.
Meaty click.
Right there. I one time dislocated my shoulder and that's it. I can't now.
Have you?
Yeah, one time dislocated and now it's constantly like crack. Anyway. Yeah, so that's the two games that were announced at the DC Fandom. I'm more excited for the Suicide Squad game.
Too,
the other one was
a
a bit rough out there. But I guess we'll see how that turns out. 2021 they said for the Gotham Knight one, 2022 for this.
Yes,
We don't know.
Another reason I'm quite excited about the Suicide Squad game is because they didn't tell us it was a gameplay reveal.
That's it. They just said, "Hey, tune in for some stuff. You know, see what we get."
Exactly.
There you go.
So
take note, Ashraf email.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you can't.
Hey, zing.
All right. Let's move on to our next topic, Halo. Exactly. So, for those of you guys that didn't know, Halo Infinite has been delayed into 2021. This was an official post by the guys over at 343. They made a long post saying that, because of COVID, because of this, because of that.
Didn't read yet.
Yeah, it was... Honestly, they give the same excuses that everybody gives when it comes to all this kind of stuff. You have to pick and choose whether or not you believe in certain situations. I don't for this one particularly, but they've said they've delayed it to 2021. Two things. How do you feel this is going to affect the Xbox Series X? Because it was supposed to be the launch title, the one that was supposed to propel it into the stratosphere.
Yep.
And how do you think this is going to affect Halo Infinite itself?
I feel like first year sales will be damaged. But potentially, the Xbox could climb again with Halo bringing its name to it, right? But otherwise, what's the point? Xbox has done enough damage to itself with all of its games, at least for the first year or two, being able to play on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Like, that's a terrible decision, not just from a business standpoint, because how are you going to shift new units?
Yeah.
Right? But also, like, you're damaging the game. The game is being held back because they have to make it run on both of these consoles, right?
Yeah.
So I think a good move would actually be for them to bring it out and say this is next gen only. I think that's, as much as it's going to piss off fanboys.
That's an interesting comment right there. So when this news came out, there was a rumor going around that apparently they're having a lot of trouble with the Xbox One
You don't
version.
say. Also,
a lot of trouble with the Xbox One version.
Yeah.
Apparently they can't get it above 900p and whatnot.
Now, look at the size of this thing.
And there was a rumor saying that they're going to completely axe the Xbox One version and go for the Xbox Series X version only. I saw that rumor on Reddit and I saw it on Twitter and places like that. Unanimously, I saw people saying who are Xbox fans and what they're saying, in all honesty, they should do this. They should do this to make the game the best version possible, not shackle it from previous
100%.
gen and whatnot.
And look, someone's going to say you don't have a dog in the race.
That's true.
I think they should do this with Cyberpunk.
It's true. That's another thing we've said plenty of times.
I do not want Cyberpunk coming out on current gen.
Yeah.
And that means I have to buy next gen in as soon as it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I want to play the game.
Yeah.
It needs to be that level to experience what we have been sold, what I'm invested in. And as much as it's gonna suck, especially because it hurts Xbox gamers the most, because they've been told that their Xbox coming out with these pro-consumer moves. Actually, I think long run it's not pro-consumer. It's just pro PR. It's just PR.
All it is PR, because the people who are buying then your next gen console, they're not getting anything for what they're paying for and whatnot. So when that rumor came out, this was quite recent. I think it was like yesterday. So 3 days ago, that rumor came out, and then today or yesterday, an official person came out to speak about that rumor and whatnot.
Confirmed it, right?
They didn't confirm it. They said the opposite, but only for half of what they said. They didn't comment on whether or not Xbox One was having any issues or anything like that, but they said, we don't know where the rumors are coming from, but we are still committed to bringing out the Halo Infinite on all devices for the Xbox and whatnot.
But they confirmed it's being delayed, I mean.
They confirmed it's being delayed. That was definitely confirmed and more. That was
Okay,
confirmed from before. But the reason... but they didn't say anything about
it's definitely
them
because
cancelling.
it's not working on Xbox One. Of course it is. Of course it is.
I think that could be one of the reasons. I mean, that was running on a Xbox Series X and it still looked awful. I mean, so they've still got work to do, it looks like, when they're done.
At least they didn't spend $500 million and show a, like, I don't know what's before alpha, before pre-alpha, to push units.
But don't worry, that was a January build. I love that argument. It's like, and what? That's still where they were trying to show off the gameplay to try and sell people. You don't go to a sales meeting with your shit. You go with the best stuff.
It's mind-boggling.
It's so fucking frustrating.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And again, now we're talking about it, the pre-alpha footage from Gotham Knights.
Yes.
Again, not the game we were expecting.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
At least those guys didn't come out with an actual release date. They said 2021, so they could theoretically behind the scenes push that all the way to late 2021
of course they could.
and work on it more and make it the best that it can be.
But it looked ready. And look,
it looked like a game.
Not only did it look ready, like if that game came out tomorrow, they said it was pre-alpha, but other than that, what in it didn't look ready?
No,
it looked good enough.
It looked like it was working.
Yeah, they were going to make
functioning.
Obviously, they're going to make tweaks and add stuff, whatever it is, but it's pre-alpha. It's not ready.
Yeah.
The Halo Infinite, that didn't look ready.
Didn't look ready. Pop-ins everywhere. Textures were very low resolution.
All sorts of stuff.
No music going on in there.
Right.
It was very bad. Very bad.
So, like, what is going on here?
I have a suspicion that it is true that they're having issues. This is all totally just my theories here, based on this rumor and whatnot, that the Xbox One version is causing them problems, like it is causing problems for Cyberpunk, like we heard the rumor back in the day.
That's the original Xbox One, not the one.
The original
the
one.
S,
Yeah. There were people that came out afterwards that tried to tell me actually that rumor's false, because in an earnings call they said that they didn't say that the Xbox One was the problem. They said previous gen consoles.
Who cares? I don't care if it
that
could
was
be the PS4. I don't care.
It
shouldn't be coming out.
It's true. It could be PS4. We don't give a shit.
I don't care.
The previous gen's thing. But I think they said that more to be like, oh, we can't say specifically because that's going to look bad.
You can't name drop, especially because they actually have a marketing deal with Xbox.
Exactly.
So you can't drop the people paying you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was
under the bus.
I think that there is an issue, and I think they're going to stick by not axing the Xbox One version.
Terrible idea.
Purely because, and I put out a tweet kind of jabbing at Phil Spencer. I was like, because when the rumor came out, it's like, oh, we're going to cancel the Xbox One version. I was like, but Phil, that's totally anti-consumer. Isn't that anti-consumer, Phil? Isn't that really? Because that's what it will be like the next day when they officially confirm it. And they won't, and I guarantee you no one will let them sleep. So they won't do it just because they want to save face, which means they're going to have a worse off game because they don't want to.
I just want to make sure that they have it running on mobile as well.
They have to.
Right?
If they don't, then it's anti-consumer.
It's true.
Jesus Christ.
It's ridiculous. It's so
anyway,
dumb. It's so dumb.
Halo Infinite officially delayed, and because it's been so long, we haven't been able to talk about it. But that's what's happening with Halo.
Officially delayed. It wasn't fucking ready.
It wasn't ready. But my feelings on what this means for the Xbox Series X, I think this is the final nail in the coffin. I actually don't think it's going to be... We said that, didn't we say together, we was like, everything rides on Halo now. Yeah. Everything rides on Halo. If it doesn't come out and smack it, it's dead.
Fable is
I firmly believe
Fable is a very big name.
Yes.
At a guess, we estimate 3 years out.
Yes, very far out.
That is not enough to push the consoles. That's not enough for someone to buy it knowing that 3 years down the line they go in 3 years I'll buy it when Fable's ready.
Buy an Xbox. In 3 years you're gonna get Fable. You know
Right.
Fable, guys?
Right.
Fable?
So if it looked like Fable was a year and a half away,
Yeah.
that would be bigger. But I mean, we've only seen one CG teaser trailer, not trailer, not teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Like it's a teaser of a trailer. It's the smallest thing you can show, right?
Yeah.
What was it? 7 seconds or something? It was not a lot.
Well, not a lot.
And I love Fable. I think Fable's an incredible franchise.
Mm-hmm.
We said like 2018. If this isn't handled properly, this could be the last generation of Xbox. I really would not be surprised to find they shift 5 million units in the first 2 years.
It's pretty bad.
Which sounds like a lot. That is nothing. They should do. I think PlayStation's expecting to do 10 million in 1 year, right?
Yeah, that's what they're expecting. No one knows if that's going to be true, but that's how they're expecting. Now, this could all change tonight or over the next couple of things because apparently both companies still have something to show. We don't know what that means and whatnot.
Are you excited? Are you excited for anything from Microsoft? I can't think of one thing. Look,
Genuinely,
what I mean is, we don't know what Sony's going to show.
Yeah?
We have no idea.
No.
But from what they have shown, are you excited to see what they have to show us?
With Sony, yes.
What has Xbox shown? What has Xbox shown us that you can only play on Xbox?
Mm-hmm.
A teaser trailer, or a teaser of a trailer, or a trailer of a teaser for
Or
Fable.
talking about a holiday you took in Iceland to research
Right.
for a game.
so we've the three things that are of any interest to anyone: Halo, and the build that they showed was months later than the current build they should have been on, and they showed it at the time when they were supposed to be pushing it and showing their best foot forward. But I mean, Halo, okay. Fable, but we see nothing of it. And a game whose name I've already forgotten, and it was a little documentary about their...
Hellblade.
That's it. Hellblade 2, and it was a documentary about their team going to Iceland. Like, everything else they showed was third party.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
They keep talking about how they've got all these studios working on something,
Well,
but
show
we
us
don't.
something.
But we don't have anything.
What was it Grounded? That's the only other thing.
Grounded.
That was cool. Is
That
that
was cool.
exclusive?
I don't know actually.
God, I hope it is. I hope that's enough to keep Xbox alive because for all that we shit on them, like we need it.
We need the competition.
We need it to make sure Sony is like on their heels and they push and push and push that God of War 5 is better than God of War 4. That they actually someone put Sam Fisher in a Splinter Cell game. You know, like come on.
No. That's probably not what people want, Sheps. That's probably not what people want.
Right.
I mean, Ubisoft know their marketing and they've done the research. People don't want Splinter Cell in a Splinter Cell game. They want them in a mobile game. That's what they want.
At some point, you think like at one of those conferences or something where they show stuff and you see the things, and everybody in the crowd freaks out. And then it's Sam Fisher's in a mobile game that no one clocks. Oh, maybe people are excited for Sam Fisher. They were expecting a Splinter Cell.
What happened? I wonder. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's nothing. You know.
They don't know what they want. Anyway, my point is, I don't. I only watch the Xbox stuff because, like, we're in the gaming world. I kind of want to see it, and I hope they're going to bring something interesting. And maybe some of you guys are interested. I could happily go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and see that Xbox did something last night, and I wouldn't bother to Google it.
Yeah.
You know, because nothing's going to change the world. And anything that they actually did, I wouldn't be able to avoid it.
Yeah. See,
You know?
let me give you my sort of outright thoughts of what's going on here. Like I said before, Halo was everything was riding on Halo for Microsoft.
Yep.
This game needed to come out because it was going to be the big name that was going to go, maybe I'll consider getting an Xbox as well. It was never going to be instead of.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
I agree.
There are some people out there that are doing that, but they have a loyalty to Game Pass. They have
switching.
a loyalty to something.
But
I don't know
no
what.
one's switching.
No one's switching.
That's
They're
the
not.
killer group.
Exactly.
The killer group is no one's going from PS4 to Series X,
Yes.
but a lot of people are going from Xbox One to PS5.
Exactly.
A lot of people.
Exactly. And with
Most
Halo
of our
gone...
Discord.
Yeah.
Most of our Discord. And anybody that's getting the Xbox
Fucking
is getting it as
Joe
well.
founded Scarab and whatnot.
The Xbox guy.
Fuckers like, oh, I've only got an Xbox. You'll be like, what? You haven't played God of War? You haven't played Last of Us?
Horizon
You haven't
Zero
played
Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn? You haven't
Spider-Man.
played... It's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Like, but seriously, most of the games that come up, and this isn't a dig at Xbox, this is like a pat on the back to Sony. Most of the games that a lot of people genuinely talk about, oh, you've got to play.
Yeah.
And in fairness, I include the original trilogy of Halo in this.
Yeah.
And you got to play. Halo's 1, 2, 3, and they just pretend they never made any more,
No.
right? It's God of War, right?
Yeah.
It's things like that. I mean, the only one that's third party that I can think of, 2, Mass Effect, The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, for the most part, is on Sony. And Microsoft don't have much.
It's funny seeing some people, there's some people online that are like, you guys are acting like the Xbox Series X has got no games to play at launch, and then they list all the games and they're all third-party games. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, because then you could say, and also those people are like, there's way more to play on the Xbox than there is on the PlayStation.
No, I just copy-paste
I was going to say, you said third-party games, that means those are also PlayStation games if you want to have that argument then. Anyway, my thoughts is that everything was riding on Halo. With Halo gone,
100%.
it is in very, very bad shape. And
It's looking rough.
people's minds, at least my mind anyways, and what I've seen online is like, I don't think there's a reason for me to buy the Xbox. That means that the position now is ready for PlayStation at their next event, whatever it is, to show off even a teaser.
Anything that you cannot play on any other console.
Exactly. Even a teaser, if it's God of War 5, for example.
I think they should do that, man.
I think they should. If they did do that, that would literally be Xbox swept under the rug. No one needs to think about them. And that's that.
Like, let's say this. Let's say you're not gonna get the PlayStation for whatever reason, right? You're sticking with Xbox. I can't think of a reason to buy it day one, let alone year one.
Yeah.
Which means that a huge amount of Xbox only guys, that sale is deferred for at least a year.
Yeah.
Realistically, if I'm going Xbox only, right? Because if Halo was ready and as good as the original trilogy, I can see those guys sticking there.
Yeah.
I wait the year for it to come out. I probably wait a little bit longer to just check that it isn't, Halo
crap.
5.
Yeah, Halo 5. Come on, Guardians, come on.
And then we're super close to Fable.
Yeah.
That's enough, but that's almost 2 years down the road.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with 10 million units stocked up in a warehouse somewhere?
Yeah. And there are some delusional people that are like, but Xbox's whole thing now is actually Game Pass. They were looking for services.
Brilliant
and whatnot.
service. It's
And
great.
that's great. But the problem is that you need money flowing through a company in order for them to fund the things that go into Game Pass.
You can provide the best service ever, but if only 2 people use it,
Yeah.
it's a shit business.
And the money that Microsoft make and whatnot, they need to be able to justify it. So when you've got a balance sheet, granted, with Microsoft, they've got a lot more, they've got a pool of fuck you money on the side as well.
Xbox division doesn't.
That's the thing. So with PlayStation, they sell a lot of units, so then they can go out to publishers and go, can you make an exclusive game for us? Or exclusive DLC, or exclusive skin. Or they go, these guys, can you put your game on PS Plus for free? And then that draws more people in. But that's because they sell so much hardware, so many games, so many microtransactions. With Xbox, if they don't sell the console, then where does the money come from to buy all the games to go on Game Pass?
It's even worse than that. Because Microsoft are not in hardware. Sony makes hardware. That's what they do. They make tech. They make TVs and cameras and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So Xbox is the only real hardware division of Microsoft. But PlayStation is in its own separate division. It's its own section, not division. They make the gaming bits, but they use a lot of the stuff from all over the place. It's not its own one little thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, it's not its own creature where the Xbox division of Microsoft is, because Microsoft's mostly services, and again, Game Pass is brilliant.
Yeah.
But if that division is underwater, then it's its own section that's going to drown. Whereas, let's say somehow PlayStation, the section of Sony went underwater. Well, you can probably use most of those things in any of their DVD players or TVs or whatever. Right? It's not. They can scavenge stuff if for some reason the division the bit was to go underwater.
Yeah.
Which it won't. And so it's in a more robust position in the company that it's in.
Yeah.
Right. So it's even worse. Things are looking really bad for Xbox, which I hate because I desperately want Sony to be, people to be nipping at their heels. That we need
the competition will drive Sony to make even better, and it
Right.
makes a whole better gaming landscape for all of us.
The reality is that without Xbox, there isn't that direct competition, because PC gaming and PC gamers don't, you know, they have their own, they're PC exclusives.
Yeah.
Right, and they're used to playing like Counter-Strike as an example,
Yeah.
right? Which is what ages old and it's still super important.
Which
you
is
know.
hilarious to me because PC gamers are the ones that yell the most about exclusives
Graphics, frame rates.
and to consumer exclusives and whatnot. They have exclusives.
And they're playing Minecraft, they're playing Counter-Strike.
Exactly.
And so the war's kind of funny, but they don't really interact.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what about Nintendo? Totally separate, big fish, different pond.
Yeah.
You know, so without this connection, we're just separate fishes in separate places.
Yeah.
And I feel like the PC gamers, those guys are going to be fine because the PC community is so freaking toxic that it will drive its own pressure.
Yes.
Right? But without a competition, the toxicity just builds up in the one place and everything crumbles and dies.
Yeah.
Whereas the PC outlet has its own outlet against it's going places.
Yeah.
Right? Without that for us, because Nintendo's not toxic, it's a fucking Nintendo. Pokemon.
They're so wholesome.
Right? They're family games. Sony isn't family games, which is fine.
Yeah.
But without that, I don't know, man. That's how I view the gaming ecosphere.
I feel you. That's true. So that's Halo Infinite at least. We went a little bit off topic again, but we came all the way back. Halo Infinite delayed officially, and that could be bad for Xbox. I am getting the feeling, genuinely, guys, that this is going to be another 2013 over and over again for the Xbox.
I think it's going to be worse.
Yeah?
I think it's going to be a lot worse. And I've said it a million times. That is the worst timeline, but I think it's going to be a bloodbath. Because 2013... yeah, there was like The Last of Us and stuff like that, but Halo was still huge, right? Like, Fable was a few years out. I think The Last of Us was 2009 or something like that, but it happened.
While ago.
It happened, right? There were things to play, like Mass Effect was going to be across the consoles, and 360 had by far, you know, the greatest UI. It was so much better to use, and it was so much easier to code for the 360 than the PS3 and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it was still a big defeat, you know? I think this is going to be a bloodbath. I think it's going to really be bad. I think you're going to walk into, if you can physically turn up to a store, and there will be PS5s sold out, the shelves will be empty, and people will just be walking out with these fully stocked Xbox shelves. I worry about that being how it's going to happen.
I feel like that's going to be the case. And only time will tell. We'll see when these consoles actually come out. We're fucking getting into September and we still don't know when the goddamn consoles come out.
We don't have a price.
We don't. I will drop the rumor. I will drop the rumor right here that there was someone sent a picture to Alana Pierce from a UK retailer showing SKU codes for the Xbox Series X, some controllers and stuff like that, and it marked it as $499.99 for the Xbox Series X.
No way. No one's buying one at that price.
I don't think so either.
I'll buy a PS5 at that price.
Yep.
I mean, look, fair enough, devil's advocate and all that, whatever. I'm not getting an Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
But there's no way in fuck am I getting that.
It's like, buy this console, it's insanely expensive, by the way, there's no games for it.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, games that you can play anywhere. That's what we're saying right now.
Yeah, games that exactly. There's only games that you can only play on this, nothing.
No.
So Why?
Anyway, that's the rumor right there. Let me know what you guys think of the legitimacy of that in the comment
PS5,
section.
it flops, it's terrible, and they're so notoriously unreliable when we end up switching to Xbox.
That would be the funniest time.
That would be funny.
I'll be happy for people to send us compilation videos of us saying stupid shit.
Just shitting all
PlayStation's
over.
the best, bro. Fuck that shit.
Next time we're like, I can't believe we ever thought all this brand new technology. Of course it's ridiculous. Why would you ever change things up? This works so perfectly. This is the best console.
This new SSD, ridiculous. Shit, get out of here.
And we got Fable in a year. It's great.
It'll be fucking hilarious. Anyway, that's the issue with that's the rumor with Xbox. Anyway, that's supposed to be what it's be. We don't know if that's real. I guess we'll find soon. Also tonight, what's happening as the night that we're recording this, you guys can go check out the channel youtube.com/Combroplations to watch our reactions and thoughts about it. Gamescom opening night live is happening with Jeff Keighley tonight. Apparently, there's going to be a lot of cool announcements there from a lot of cool developers. We don't know what's going to happen. I hope it's going to be amazing. The PlayStation's on there, Xbox is on there as well. So hopefully we'll see some cool stuff. And we're going to see the first proper reveal of Call of Duty. It's a Black Ops reboot. So it's got Mason in it. That's what we want.
Hold on. Let's talk Call of Duty.
Go on.
Because, unironically, Black Ops 1, I think we agree is our favourite.
Yes.
Overall. Brilliant campaign, which no one buys these things for the campaign, but it actually had one. It was fantastic. We're almost in September, bro.
Yes, and we're only just getting it. We're only just getting it now.
Like, what's going on? Other games are coming out, you know.
Crazy.
Like, I know the Calamity has been an issue, but the fact that we're waiting to August the 27th to actually get an announcement about Blops.
Madness.
I'm not sure what's going on. On that note, because that is happening in like an hour and 45 minutes, should we maybe skip some of
Yes,
these things?
let's go. The next thing is so Apple and an Epic Game Store.
Yeah, that happened.
Epic Game Store all of a sudden decided they're gonna. Basically, if you're going to buy anything on the App Store, you have to go through the Apple iOS system. Yeah. Epic one day came out with an update and they said if you go to epic.com/blah blah blah, you can buy all your V-Bucks from there and it will transfer into your account, circumventing Apple. Yes. So Apple don't get their cut of 30% and whatnot. That's against their terms of service, so they then removed Fortnite from the App Store.
Yes.
That same day, on the moment that they got removed, Epic Games hit them with a counter lawsuit to say that that was unlawful, saying that they shouldn't be able to do that, blah, blah, blah. Basically, they planned it. They wanted them to do this. They baited them into doing that right there. Also, they can allegedly, this is their words, so they can try to get Apple to change their 30% cut pay structure to be more pro-consumer, because they did the same thing with Steam, basically. Steam, notoriously, they charge 30%, and if you sell over like 5 million copies, which is ridiculous.
Epic, if you put stuff on the Epic Store, you get 90% of it.
Exactly.
Or like, it might even be 95%.
No, 90%. 90%, that's exactly it.
Which is insanely high.
Very high right there. And anybody who wants to come along, they get to use that.
Because I'm even less invested in this thing than the Sony thing, and I couldn't care less, honestly, about this stuff, right? Are we thinking good guy Epic, or are we thinking like, just like greedy Epic or greedy Apple? Like, because Apple, they're not doing too well. Like,
$2 trillion company.
I think they'll be okay without fully 30% of everything that Epic puts to them. Yeah,
I'm in two minds about this. One, it is good what Epic is doing, because 30% is a really, really high cut. And Apple, they could take that down to 15 and still be okay. They could still be okay. Yeah. And that would be across the board. Every app developer would get it. And that's Epic leveraging their power of Fortnite and their big company so they can help other people out.
And then maybe they put that more into marketing, more people put more stuff through the device. Yeah.
Exactly. Good guy Epic. The side that I'm not on Epic's side is that, you knew that this was the situation and that you was going to get taken off. They planned it. And on top of that, they started a whole hashtag and they put a video, 1984, was it the Communism Party video and whatnot? They adapted it to be Fortnite-esque. And they put that in Fortnite, which is predominantly children. And they got kids to rally for them on Twitter and Facebook and social media to fight their fight against Apple. Children.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
That's not cool.
I'd be okay with adults doing it, even though we've seen time and time again that just because you're an adult doesn't mean that you're sane of mind to rally against something. I mean, fucking Trump Karens. And Boris won fucking...
Karens, just Google Karen.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't get it. So, but at least an adult can be like, okay, hashtag free Fortnite, go along. I don't think that's what they're doing. Yeah. But children, now there are children, you've you rallied a bunch of kids to join your army against a company.
Yeah, that's...
really fucking shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Honestly, this sounds like a marketing ploy to me.
Yeah.
Where I think they've gone, what would it really cost us to take Apple to court and lose? 60 to 100 million. Okay. Yeah. What's the attention we're going to buy from this drama going to bring us?
200 million. Done.
I mean, first of all, you have to understand that most businesses operate on like well under 50% profit margin, well under that. Like, I think Tesla makes 1% profit on their products.
I hear,
So,
because they want battery technology to be increased and better and research and stuff like that.
Tesla's a weird example because it's got like government grants and research and stuff like that. But there are regular businesses, like normal business mattresses, like what's that one you always see adverts for on YouTube?
Casper mattresses.
Casper, right? Casper mattresses. I think those guys have like they make 12 cents per dollar.
Damn.
These are thin profit margins. So if it's going to cost you upwards of 100 million, but you reckon you're going to get 200 million, that's huge. You take that all day long.
Yeah.
And I reckon it's probably close to 500 to $1 billion.
Yeah.
If just from like the the people that don't care like me, that are like, what is the deal with it? Oh, and Fortnite's free. Okay, yeah, cool. And then you play it with a friend. And my friend does play it. Okay, you play it. Oh man, this is taking forever. Yeah, just buy the things you can get the battle pass, and it goes quicker. All right, cool. Just from that alone, I reckon it's a profitable move.
I think so too.
But there is shitty to put like communist propaganda up to kids.
Right.
That's not so great.
And two other things as well. Because now Apple have removed the Fortnite from iOS devices from the App Store.
Right.
In the next update, which is regular with online service games and whatnot, that game's not going to work anymore on people's phones. So then you've taken away games from kids, so they can't play their games anymore, so they're upset.
That makes Apple look very bad, and Apple would...
It makes Apple look bad, but it's not Apple that have done it. It's actually Epic who initiated the whole fight, so it's their fault.
Little Timmy sees it.
Exactly,
Little Timmy sees it as Apple took Fortnite off my iPad.
And that's the reason why they did it. They're going to be like, and then the kids are going to be like, Apple did this and whatnot. But really, it's them, so us same people see, which is actually... And another side, because Epic Games run Unreal Engine, their license for Unreal Engine games being used on Apple Store has also been revoked. So now any game using Unreal Engine was supposed to be revoked. Luckily, and this is complete, Epic either didn't think about this or they were okay with just letting every other developer who uses their platform...
Because Unreal Engine's a super popular engine.
And it's like really cheap. I think it's free or cheap or something like that, right? Luckily, a judge overruled it and said, okay, we're going to allow every game that uses Unreal Engine to still be used as normal, unaffected.
Not allow like a parent company that created a technology to hinder other parties using a certain...
it's like, you guys are having a spat, let's not have these guys be affected by it. But otherwise, Epic Games would have essentially cut out all of these developers from one of their primary platforms.
But at that point, if Apple if they go, okay, John, remove anything that uses these guys off it. John, control select all.
Yeah.
This is half of the thing.
Yeah.
Do you want me like, hi,
Tim?
Sure? Are you? It's half. Now, what's the number? Half of everything on here.
We have billions. Half of that.
Yeah, and then Tim will be like, "Hon, let me just get some numbers on. How much is it? Oh, you're talking, 700 million a day or whatever. Ridiculous. Like, let's take them to court. Leave it up there for now."
This is the thing. They were absolute, and they were like, "Okay, we have to deactivate. These are the terms of service." And unfortunately, they had to. I think they had to stick to those rules to do it, because otherwise they would have looked like then the rules don't mean anything, and that would have looked bad in court.
That's true though.
It's true.
We know the rules don't mean anything if you're big and bad enough.
Yeah.
Like if frickin' Apple decides to break the T's and C's for like what's a smaller company that like WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Right? Or I don't know, WhatsApp's owned by Facebook. But you know what I mean? Like something like that, like
when
Zoom.
It gets to a certain level, there's preferential treatment and whatnot.
They'll be like, the Zoom or whoever would be like, they broke T's and C's. Yeah, but they are Apple and they account for like most of our customer base. So you cannot do this thing unless you're Apple.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Anyway, that's the situation with that. It's kind of I don't know what side I'm on.
Interesting.
Yes.
And as far as like bad things happening this year, so minor that it's kind of relaxing to talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's one of those things. 2020 is already so bad, and that's everything that we mentioned. That I was going to mention today in this
awesome.
in this thing right here. Quite good right there. There was one or two things I wanted to read out some comments right here. We'll quickly blitz through these. Uncle Noli, Hammid, our boy Hammid over here. He's going to be the second father of the community. He also got the recommendation to get his girlfriend pregnant. Like,
I hope he takes the advice.
Right there, he should. I guarantee nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong. All right, been having a heated discussion with many idiots, and so I'll have to come here to ask the true gamers.
Okay.
Do you think that it's The Witcher 3's fault for how many games these days change direction of making games? Example, like how Ubisoft makes their games now, or how new Gotham Knights looks in an open world light RPG game.
Yeah, fuck no, that's so ridiculous.
That's a hot take.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
He does say, personally, I believe it's dumb, and you need to blame
idiots. Yeah.
And you need to blame the idiots that are trying to make this game like CD Projekt Red's masterpiece.
You're completely right.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. CD Projekt Red set out to make a game a certain way and make it the best thing it could possibly be.
Yes.
And in our opinion, it's one of the best games ever made.
Yep.
Ever.
Yeah.
Same with God of War 4. They set out to make a thing the exact way they meant to make it. They made the best game they could possibly make, and they made... I'm still not sure where it's in my top 2, and it's your number 1 of all time.
My number 1, yeah.
Right? So, I think it's totally not their fault. It's freaking Ubisoft that are like, hey, this game was amazing. That game did amazingly well. Let's just copy it.
I love
Let's
how
just adapt our bullshit that wasn't amazing to begin with. Don't get me wrong, look, forget all the jokes about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people love it. I'm sure there's some stuff to it. But but it isn't like The Witcher or The Last of Us or God of War. Fine, fair enough. Like, let's just be honest. But then going, cool, we've got our game, which I believe, if I've got my thumb on the pulse enough, they've been kind of declining a bit. People are saying they're getting a little bit worse.
Yes.
And they're like, okay, they're not getting better. This is the new trend, because these 2 games in particular just smashed everything. Let's just take our even crappier idea and then just make it open world.
Yeah.
That's not Ubisoft.
We said it just at the beginning. I think I said it when we was talking about The Witcher. You could do everything else pitch perfect in the game, but if the story is fucking awful, then it's going to be a crap game altogether. Like this, even if you nail the RPG because you think that everyone's buying The Witcher because it's an RPG, which is not the reason why we're buying Witcher, buying for the fun, fantastic story as well as the RPG.
That's the thing.
If you then go and just take an RPG, do it poorly, but then everything else is just utter garbage, it's never going to work. No. And that's the people's fault. Like you said, the people that try to emulate it. It's their fault.
This is why the people that copy never get as good as the people that, like, make it.
Yeah.
Because The Witcher was not made as an open world RPG. It was made with an incredible story, and they worked out what's the world. They made a world and then decided, as they make the game, what fits this best. It needs to be this style to do it properly, to tell the story that we have, and so that you can learn it and experience it. And that means an open world game. They didn't just take an idea and go, well, slap an open world on it.
Yeah.
That's not how you do these things. That's why Arkham Asylum is one of in my opinion, my favourite one, let's say. Not because open world's bad, but because that is the appropriate, in my opinion, the appropriate experience for the game that I'm playing. That's how I want to play that game.
Yeah.
You don't just throw a thing at it. Like throwing make it a linear level grind on on The Witcher. That's not appropriate. But do you know what it is appropriate for? Doom Eternal, which I think was fantastic.
Yes.
One of the best games of the year. And we had The Last of Us 2. We had what else came out this year? A lot of things.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yeah, frig.
Did
How did I forget that one?
You made a whole channel on it.
My memory. But like, it's not appropriate.
Yeah.
Right. But like, The Last of Us is kind of like, in that sense, a linear level grind, an open linear level grind. Perfectly appropriate for that. Not appropriate for Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Like, you should worry about what's the best experience of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And if you're Ubisoft, give you some tips. Put Sam Fisher in a Splinter Cell game. Right? And don't make it open world.
You guys should do that. You really should do that.
Right.
Listen to the people, for fuck's sake. One final question is for our boy Zcrappy. We touched on this, but we can just give our final thoughts. How similar do you think Gotham Knights and the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice game will be? Personally, I think it'll be kind of similar, but Suicide Squad will be a lot better because you get to kill a knockoff Avengers.
Wow, let me just ban him.
Yeah, well, just ban him from the Discord server right there.
I actually think they'll be quite different.
Yeah, I think so too.
Really quite different. I think it's fairly obvious. I think the Suicide Squad one's going to be much more fun. If not, like, it may not be the better game. Like, technically, I think it'll be much more fun. I think it'll be the one we play the most. I don't think they'll be that similar.
I think that the Gotham Knights game will be because they have so much other games from Rocksteady to base everything off of. Because Babs, for example, when she completed one of her moves, bats swarmed everywhere, and that's very reminiscent of the Arkham games. When you hit that final guy, bats swarm everywhere.
It's very cool, except that it brings you back to the point that you don't have Batman.
Exactly.
At least early game, from what we can see. Let's say that.
And that's the thing. She's not Batman as well, so that felt very odd. They were just sort of like, that's a cool thing they did.
People
in the Arkham
like this.
Game. Let's put that. And I feel like they're going to do that with everything in this game and whatnot. So I think there's a baseline of how bad it could be, and then it can only build from there. Whereas the Suicide Squad game, I feel like they're doing something fun, something different.
With that said, the floor's lower. Like, it could go much worse.
Yes,
this could go Avengers.
It could go Avengers level right there. But it does have the Justice League in them. And as I said before, I think this is going to be a secret Justice League game, and I think that's what's going to make it good.
Do you know what? I think that game, the Suicide Squad game, is a really good analogy for the Xbox.
Yeah.
Which is that part of the draw of it is the Justice League's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The difference is there's excitement for Suicide Squad because that's the method by which you're going to fight the Justice League, right?
Right.
The Xbox, the draw is supposed to be the games that you can play on it, but they're all getting delayed.
Yeah.
Right? So it's weird because in a weird way it's surprisingly similar, but the excitement is there for the Justice League.
Yeah.
And because you know that you come in as the Suicide Squad, because you come in as these guys and you fight to a thing. With this, it's like you come in. Who are you playing as? Oh, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Okay, who are you fighting against? We don't know yet.
Don't know yet.
It's a weird. I think maybe that's just my weird brain picking up on that.
I hope that it is going to be a lot better than we're
I
thinking
hope so.
anyway, because it's DC and we're DC fans at the end of the day, so we want to see this
I
go
really
well.
want Suicide Squad to be good.
I hope so. I hope it is good.
I wanted the movie to be good. I know I want to like that movie. I will watch it. Like if my chick's like, oh, let's watch it because she likes Harley Quinn and all that stuff, and I'm like,
the first half was okay, but then when the Enchantress turns into the other woman, I was like, I'm fucking out, man. Because that was the only one that I liked. I was like, oh, she's creepy and stuff. I wonder what she's
great imagery as well.
And then she just turned into a regular woman. And I was like, with powers, and I was like,
Diablo at the end. It's so cool seeing him turn into that thing, but we see him for like 3 seconds, and you
all the budget's gone.
Right? Yeah. So
that abortion of a fucking movie. Anyway,
I want to like it. I want to enjoy it. I'll watch it every now and again. She wants to put it on, so we watch it. And I'm like, I want to enjoy it. But it's just not there. There's no soul.
My girl wanted to watch Venom last night. I watched that. I'm okay with it because it's Tom Hardy and it's a good graphics still there, but it's lacking a soul. It's lacking a soul.
I haven't seen it yet, but my chick, we put it on, and she was like, "Oh, let's watch this." I'm like, "No, we need to watch more Lucifer." And she's like, "Oh yeah, Lucifer." I was like, "Oh,
woo! Dodge that bullet right there."
But I know because it's up there on Netflix, so I'm like, "Fuck, I'm gonna have to watch this."
I'm okay with watching it. It's just it's got no soul. Like the looks of it is great.
I'm sure it looks
everything
great.
else is just not me. Anyway, that's all the time we've got for today for the True Gamer podcast.
Yep.
Thank you everybody for watching along. Thank you for listening along. Podcast services, rate us 5 stars wherever you are. Like a video, all the stuff your grandma tells you to do.
Yep.
I've mixed up the things we say now, so it's just become a thing and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna today. Vader Immortal came out for PlayStation VR. Ooh. I'm fucking excited. I got it downloaded on my PlayStation. I have no time to play it today, but fuck it, I just got it. You know.
If we do this build quick enough on Sunday,
we can play it.
Forget the PC.
It's like we built it, put it to the side.
Well, it's not for gaming.
It's not for gaming, so there we
PC.
go. But I hope to see you again in the next thing that we're going to do right after this.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get that arranged.
Hopefully we can get that arranged and get it done before tonight. And if you guys are watching this afterwards, go back and watch our impressions and whatnot.
Ready for the stream.
I do have it this time, so there's no worrying about that. Cool. But thank you.
Normally, with the 10 minutes before, you're like, shit, I need to get on Photoshop.
Thank you everybody for joining us for this episode of the True Gamer podcast.
We will have been there.
Yes, we would have been.
It's that side, right?
I think it's this side.
Yeah.
It may totally be the other side. I don't know. Join us if you haven't for the if you're coming anyway on Sunday.
Join us all
for
of our
these
things. Come with us all the time
for the streaming PC that we're going to build. It's going to be good fun. I guarantee it. I think that's going to be quite fun. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Catch you next one, bro. There we go.
I'm going to go.